Yeah, same thing. I think what we saw in the first inning is just to get adjusted to the wicket and have a good set out there. I think that's massively just assessing the conditions and trying to have a get a good control of the teams and understand and put the games on the board.
Well, we would have earlier had the toss between the two captains, but before we do that, Zubin, a lot at stake in terms of being able to win in this tournament. The Grizzlies come into this as one of the stronger teams. They won the Western Conference last year, and now will need to pick up a win and continue in that good vein. Here is the captain, Sami Aslam. And the toss was won by the Golden State Grizzlies. And who elected to bat first? And look at the teams. Well, for the Grizzlies, Abhijit Singh, Aditya Srinivas, Isan Adil, who's their incoming player, marquee player for this season, Hamad Azam, Rusher Joshi, Sami Aslam, Vatsav Aghela, and Zia Shazad for the Lashings. Akash Veer Singh, Abhimanyu Raj, Dale Phillips, Harpreet Singh, Kateni Clark, Ripo Patel, Shamsir Singh, Zaid Tariq. So just about ready to get underway, Zubin. The pitch, we saw a bit of an up and down surface in terms of that first game, but it did dry out as the game went on. How much do you think that will impact this game?
Yeah, I think whoever watched the first game it's going to be a bit challenging in understanding what you're going to do with the toss. It seems like the Golden State's gone out and won the toss and batted, which I think is a good thing. I think the pitch played a little bit better in the second innings, even though the results didn't show that, which is a credit to the strikers in the first innings. But it's going to be good to see how they go about chasing, or if they set it, what they can do to make it happen in the end.
Pete, I can't hear myself in my audio. So no, I had talk back on. So the SoCal Lashings outfitted in the field. They'll be looking to get early wickets. We did see a very economical power play from the Hollywood Master Blast. So that surface dried out, as you just mentioned. We then saw it become a lot easier for batting. These two teams will compete now in the afternoon segment of the day, 2:30 start here locally Pacific time. And you expect probably them to get the best half of the surface, with the sun now having shone in all morning, and the likes of Sami Aslam, Hamad Azad, and others will really get to enjoy probably the best part of this surface.
Yeah, I think they're going to want to assess the conditions in the first few overs, see how that goes, and then kind of have an idea of what a winning total is. Somewhere between 165 and 170, I think is decent. We saw in the first innings, the first game that played earlier, 185 in kind of challenging conditions. I think it's settled down a little bit. So they're probably going to want to set a total, but not too quickly. Winning the toss and batting, I think is a good option. Set the total and get on the way.
So the Lashings, they will begin proceedings off with the ball in hand. And for the Golden State Grizzlies, it looks like Sami Aslam and Karan Chandel with the bat. Elmore Hutchinson, former USA national all-rounder. Tons of experience. Had a quiet season last year for the Lashings, and I think this year he'll be looking now to really enhance himself as one of the main contributors for this team.
Yeah, Ellie has plenty of experience. Just another one who's a consistent bowler, kind of just hits his areas, back of a length. He's got decent pace. He's obviously getting on in age, so it's not going to be as rapid as he would be normally. But he's a wily customer and a good addition to their team.
First delivery. You'll have to reball that one, Elmore Hutchinson. Just getting some late movement away. Interesting field set early on for the Lashings. They're definitely getting a bit of away movement.
Yeah, we saw that in the first innings as well. The pitch had a little bit in it, but you know, these SG balls.
Yeah, they do tend to swing, especially early on. So the first legal delivery of the innings. Sami Aslam, a very dangerous player for this Golden State Grizzlies team. The leading score for them crossed the 500 run mark. Exactly 500 runs in last year's edition. Average 35. Was really a reliable option at the top of the order for this team, and he really took the tournament on fire as well.
Yeah, and it's massively important to have, similarly to Unmukt, who is an top order batter, getting in early. You want your top order, at least 1, 2, and 3, to be the top scorers in the league, so it's a huge benefit to have somebody up the top.
Yeah, 2 slips with that hint of away movement. Also have that tinge of green grass, as we saw early on this morning. Obviously, it would have deteriorated as the day would have progressed, but that green grass does allow for sideways movement, especially from the other end. Interesting to see how the Lashings then play and factor that into their plans.
Yeah, I like this approach by them. I mean, at least probably just need to get a little bit straighter. You know, have the batter playing at it a little bit more. Especially with if there is a little bit of sideways movement, you're going to get it in the first few overs. Got to get the batters trying to hit them.
Yeah, again, you can see the ball really swinging away from Sami Aslam, but also having that bit of extra movement off the surface. It's actually Chandel on strike. But Elmore Hutchinson does have that bit of angle, being very close to the stumps. But look at the surface. As you can see there, that does look very dark early on, had some moisture, but that hint of green grass does come into play, especially for the seamers with the newer ball. There again, challenging the outside edge of Chandel.
I mean, we want Ellie to be a little bit straighter here, especially if it's getting a little bit of away movement, something that's coming off the pitch. Just want to get them playing. I think if he gets one right here, it's a bit challenging. He does have a slightly slingier action away from his head.
Yeah, hasn't played for the USA national team for quite some time now. Last would have been in Antigua in the qualifiers. So I wonder how much cricket he's already played in between. First runs off the bat for the Grizzlies. Chandel off the mark.
Oh, it's nice to get off those zeros early. 2 left-handers starting the innings off. The Golden State Grizzlies, and a left-handed bowler as well. Doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, last international obligation would have been it for the USA in that same tournament, the qualifiers in Antigua against the Bahamas. Didn't think he had a bad tournament, but since then hasn't been in the plans for the national. Years old now, Elmore Hutchinson, been around for a long time. And again, all 6 of those deliveries have been on that off-stump line. It's a good start from Hutchinson. End of the first, 2 for none. So what's to come in terms of with the bat in hand for the Golden State Grizzlies? Zia Shazad, expect him to come in very soon. Batted at number 4 last season. They've got some new additions to this Golden State Grizzlies team as well in terms of the fast bowling. Well, Isan Adil, can't wait to see him, as well as Rushir Joshi, both 2 fast bowlers brand new into this Grizzlies team, will bolster the attack.
I had the pleasure to see Isan bowl recently. Very good. Very nice action, good wrist position, nice tall guy, hits good areas. I think it'll be challenging, just in a lot of experience, Pakistani player as well.
So, Abhimanyu Raj P, seems. So it will be spin for the first time today for the SoCal Lashings. Have seen this quite a number of times in the power play overs. Always a risk. You can see 16 matches last season. 9 wickets for him. Getting an early bit of spin.
Yeah, I think Dingley playing with 2 left-handers. Opening the batting. It's not a bad option here. That first ball just staying a little low. We saw that in the previous game as well. Some just kind of staying a little low and a bit of up and down, nothing consistent. So I think that's a good option to get him out there. A bit of turn as well.
Sami Aslam runs in 2021, but 2022 brand new season. We want to get underway with a big score under his belt. We'll get this into the onside. Think it will have enough. We want to run away for a boundary. It's a quick outfield, especially in the onside, but just 2 in the end. How important is Sami Aslam? We saw Unmukt Chan in the first game in terms of setting the tone at the top of the order and having someone that can bat through the innings.
Yeah, I think you're relying on your top players, the ones that are gonna, batters got to score runs, and your top batters have to score.
Well, that's going to be runs. Sami Aslam opens his account with a boundary and just places it in between the point fielder. They have a slip in place.
Yeah, it's just a good shot here, not that late actually.
And goes again. This time though, almost a falling to the man at point. Very lucky, tried the similar shot.
Better backup ball there.
Interesting choice to have the slip zoom in for Raj.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's, I don't mind it. There is a little bit in there, and we've seen in the last few balls, one of them staying a little bit low, a little bit, just inconsistent bounce. Not terrible, but just a little bit inconsistent. And there is a little bit of turn. So, in the way he's bowling, I think there's might be a bit of a skid on, and definitely get a slip into play.
Just paddled around the leg for Sami Aslam. It wasn't a boundary early on, but this time it will be. Just placed it so well. He's a delicate placer of the cricket ball, Sami Aslam, and he gets a boundary to close the second over. So well on their way now, the Golden State Grizzlies, 9 for none. So 9 after the first 2 overs. Good start for both the teams. For the Grizzlies, well, they haven't lost the wicket. Sami Aslam coming into his own. He'll be on Karan Chandel as well to try to come into proceedings as well. They look to get off to a flying start. In both innings in the earlier game, we saw a very slow start to the power play. Just 35 runs and 33 runs respectively. And more Hutchinson back into the attack.
I like that area. That's similar to what we saw in the first inning from Sarab. Just kind of that left arm into the body, back of a length. Get it in and around there with the ball doing a little bit like we saw in this first over. Definitely slips and keeper are going to be into it.
Yeah, Elmore Hutchinson and the Lashings would have had the opportunity to watch that first game right here at Woodley Park. Just assess conditions in terms of how they can maximize bowling first. Again, on that good length, very hard to score boundaries. Just be a single down to third man.
Nicely played there. Just getting into their innings. A couple overs in, 9 or 10 on the board.
Was around for a long time, Elmore Hutchinson. Before the USA obviously would have gained international status, one-day international status that is. He played 11 one-day internationals. 4 wickets for him and 4 T20 internationals as well under his belt, so he brings that bit of added experience to the team. Good list day economy of just 4 and over.
Delivery. Yeah, I've had the chance to see Ellie play quite a lot. First of all, he's a lovely guy. One of the nicest guys you're gonna ever meet on a cricket field. and just a good team guy. Actually bats a little, well, that's better than you would think. Can hit a long ball. His bowling is just there. You know, it's just consistently kind of there. He's got decent height, good wrist position, gets nice and tall.
And actually, even though he's only played those 4 T20 internationals and only taken 2 wickets, is the economy rate just 3.87 he's conceded. So you expect him to have a real impact at the top of the innings for the Lashings. Oh, that was angled into the body. First time we've seen that, but clearly going on. That Dale Phillips, the brother of Glenn Phillips, behind the stumps. Very excited to see him and how he fares in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championships. Clearly going down leg, but Elmore Hutchinson trying to bring one back. We've seen a couple of deliveries. Basically, all of his deliveries have been on that 4th stump line.
Yeah, I think that's what he needs to do, is just to kind of keep it there. If there's anything in this surface, got to get them playing, just pushing at it. Try to build some dot balls. Like you said, his economy rate is good in T20 cricket.
Big swing and a miss off the inside edge. It'll be runs for the Grizzlies. So Sami Aslam, very important member of this Grizzlies team. A lot of batting to come as well. The important thing, though, I think, is for them not to lose early wickets. We've seen the momentum, which can be built. It's 125 runs it was by the Silicon Valley Strikers in the last 10 overs. That was because they had 9 wickets in hand. So that will be food for thought for the Grizzlies. They have the types of players as well. When you look at Aslam, Sia Shahzad as well, who can really bat through the innings. Misfield means that they can scamper through for the quick single.
Yeah, if there's any template to go by, it was probably with the strikers in the first game, and Unmuk just having, you know, navigating, going at a run a ball, just kind of rotating it till he got his feet, and then he ended up hitting 2 or 3 sixes to just kind of get himself over.
End of the 3rd over, 13 for none.
So they're going to continue with pace of Abi here. Still with the slip. Interesting. Like that he's backing himself.
So the captain, Ayumanu Raj. 2 overs of spin back to back in the power play. Not often do we see that, especially to the left-hander, but we'll feel like he's in with a chance of a wicket. This time, Sami Aslam gets it over the top, over the infield. Be a boundary. So, growing in comfort and confidence at the moment, Aslam.
Yeah, that's a good use of his feet to get down to the pitch. He's just luring him in with that kind of flight. There's not much there.
He's tried that shot a couple of times against Raj. Tried to go through that point region, but he's got 3 fielders in the point region. 1 behind square.
I think if he can keep that line, he can bring his, he has his fine leg in. Maybe a sweeper and long off. Might be the better option there to just bowl out one side. Better ball.
It has been relatively economical so far. Just 7 runs conceded in his spell. Pretty impressive inside the power play. Just 2 allowed outside the circle.
Yeah, definitely challenging being a spinner in the first 6 overs, just to kind of get your field right.
Oh, got a bit of extra bit of spin on that occasion. Just surprising Sami Aslam. You have seen, first we saw Nisarg Patel and other spinners really getting some extra bit of purchase off the surface. And remember, tomorrow we would have had a whole day of cricket on this pitch. So I wonder, how does that come into play in terms of the 2 matchups we have? Very excited for those as well. Again, spin, but this time Sami Aslam does well. Run out chance, he's got to hurry. And in the end, he gets there in time. Had he caught and hit the stumps there, Zubin, could have been very close.
Yeah, I dare say he'd be gone here. Let's have a look if we can get a replay.
It was slapped to cover, but the man did well to run around. And had he, I think he would have been gone, the captain. But in the end, unable to hold on to the ball.
Yeah, oftentimes when the batter hits it and he's on the back foot, he has to get off the back foot and get his momentum going forward and going. I don't know how quick Sammy Boy is in between the wickets when he's on the back foot, but he struggled there.
And the 4-18 for none.
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom.
Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At SoCal, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
So Seam back into the attack for these so-called Lashings. Of course, both teams in the first game of this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by SoCal. Of course, SoCal, the presenting sponsors of this year's season. Also have to say a special thanks to Dafa News, one of the official sponsors. This one cut well, and he'll get past the infield, but he got a hand to it. I think it was Elmore Hutchinson at point. So he took some pace off of it. Crucial stop in the end. Sanchit Sandhu into the attack for the first time today. It's a really good stop. Full stretch dive to his left. Got a hand on it, a crucial hand. But this one is timed. Mid-on up in the circle, and it'll be runs. It'll be 6 of them for Sami Aslam off the middle of the bat.
He's got hold of that one. That's a good sign with the wicket coming on. It's again just the batter just getting into good positions. Slightly full, taking full effect of it.
So the captain setting the tone for his team. It's actually Karan Chandel hitting the maximum. So Sanchit Sandhu, after 2 good deliveries to start, gives it away with a length delivery that Chandel's able to put away. And he goes again. This time, it has enough. I think it's gone all the way. Yes, it has. So back-to-back 6s for Karan Chandel. Almost like an instant replay of the first delivery.
Yeah, just in the same arc. It seems to be very strong. Anything middle and leg, or on the stumps. It's nicely done. Just a pickup shot, but it's gone the distance. It's a fair-sized hit over there too.
Well, he had a fielder there at that deep mid-wicket to co-corner region, but Chandel was just good enough to get it over the man at mid-on. Once he was able to do that, then he knew he would be safe, could go all the way, and it went all the way. Consecutive deliveries. How does Chandel respond? Well, goes this time in the offside, and there'll be more runs, 4 of them. So 6, 6, and then 4. Really good over. Just the one that the Grizzlies needed to then up the ante.
I think we can see already the wicket's getting a little bit flatter and easier to play. So look for this game to get fairly high scoring.
Almost
nice shot there.
Yeah, he almost premeditated that adjustment from Sandu because he knew he went 2 deliveries straight at him. The field changed, the cover went back on the boundary, and then he just was aware enough, Karan Chandel, to get it over the man at point. More runs for him, so this is a really good over. 17 have come from it. And can't squeeze it past point, but he will get a single through the misfield. Will end. We have one more delivery inside this 5th over, but as you said, Zubin, you can clearly see the decision of bowling first coming to fruition. So it is the end of the over at the end of 5, 36 for none. A really good start by the openers of this Golden State Grizzlies. It was a Sami Aslam show, but in the last over, Karan Chandel's taken over. They would have got 12 runs, oh sorry, 18 runs from that over after a really good start to the power play. Zubin, could that be the over that they need just to sort of add some aggression into the innings?
Yeah, certainly. You want to get two guys in that are going at a good clip, and we haven't seen Sammy really let loose yet. Chandel's just been batting well, picking off balls. Oh, bit of a drop chance there, maybe. Tough one.
Yeah, the bowler did well in the end. It was hit pretty powerfully, but he'd be disappointed he wasn't able to take the catch. Akash Veer Singh into the attack for the first time today. Oh, getting that bit of extra spin. Again, we see it. Just the ball's spinning away from Karan Chandel. Looking to play against the spin as well. Interesting option. He's a leg side dominant player, Chandel. Getting off the inside edge. Making things happen here, the SoCal Lashings. They won't mind this.
Had a chance to see the bowler yesterday. I was hanging around the ground and to see him. I kind of liked his action. Just seemed like he's a thinking bowler, young guy. It's nice to see, and it's good to, he's going up against 2 good left-handers. See how he reacts.
It's been a good effort so far. Akash Veer Singh was really the stand-up with the ball in hand for this SoCal Lashings team. 17 wickets in 15 matches last year. Average just over 20. Was impressive. Full toss though, and he's been met with power. That's huge. And Sami Aslam, not a man you can afford to miss your length against. He's showing you exactly why.
Yeah, that's just a gimme for a man in Sami Aslam's form. Just too easy, just the ball that just got full on him. He's not going to miss out, that's for sure.
A much better improvement from Akash Veer Singh to end the over at the end of 6. The power play done. The Grizzlies dominant in the first 6 overs, 43 for none. So the Toyota MALC, of course, presented by Sunoco, the presenting sponsor of this year's 2022 tournament. Wouldn't be anywhere without them.
Nice look at the ground. It's been a lovely venue. Like I said earlier, that it's one of the first times I've been to Woodley Park. I'm quite impressed. The ground staff done a fantastic job. Really looks nice. Nice little atmosphere, a little bit of a fence in the background. Those fantastic sight screens that we put up yesterday. Looking good, a little see-through, but they're there. Pace back on again.
Well, that is out the top drawer from Karan Chandel into the trees for 6. That's a statement piece from the opener who's been there for a while and opening up nicely.
I think he's fancying his chances here against Sandhu. Not too much pace coming from him, and he just seems to have a nice arc. It's a nice shot.
Well, it was just so full in the slot, and that long off boundary, the straight boundary, is not a big one for two batters that have been there for such a long time.
You can already see the decision in batting first coming to fruition. I think this was a smart move on their part. Just get there and see if they can get a fairly large total, upwards of 180.
Chandel goes again. This time it's off the top edge, leading edge, man running back, and he won't get to it. Falling in no man's land. Sometimes, Zubin, when it's going for you, it just continues to fall in your favor. Had a couple close calls now, Karan Chandel.
Yeah, that's just the nature of the game sometimes. You're trying to maximize the power play, and they're 50 for no loss. That brings up to 50 for them. So might as well just keep going with the momentum. He's been batting well so far. 3 sixes in his innings already.
Has been there for a long time, striking out over 150, Karan Chandel. And Sanchez Sandhu has been on the expensive side. He bowled that over for 18 runs. It was a brave move by the captain to go back to him. Glorious, but just a single this time. And if you're now joining us, of course, match number 2 in this Western Conference. Only 2 matches being played out of this Western Conference today. The Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. So great to finally get cricket back underway. 27 different teams across the country competing in the 2 conferences. Really going to be an exciting, a captivating month and a half of cricket.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. You spoke earlier just about what an opportunity this is for young players, under 19s, under 21s, and anybody else domestically around the U.S.
We're looking for the quick single, but they're not going to get it. Good piece of fielding on the boundary by the captain, sorry, on the circle by the captain. And those are the things I think the Lashings need to do well, Zubin, if they want to get back into this game. They've got to do the small things right. You have to keep that intensity, that energy in the field if you want to get back into this game and take wickets.
Yeah, they definitely can't just look at the scoreboard and think they're behind. They have to just keep that intensity. Now cricket goes 2 wickets and momentum.
Short and just cut away by Sami Aslam, and would you believe it, it gets to the boundary as well. Didn't think it was going to go to the boundary for 4, but it does. And the score now well past the 50 mark. Sami Aslam, Karan Chandel. This is a stellar opening partnership, just what the Grizzlies would have wanted after winning the toss.
Yeah, it's easy pickings for him at this stage. Doesn't really have much option. Every time he's pitched up, he's been going the distance. Anytime he's banged in short, the wicket's good, and two batters that are in form. It's going to be a tough one for Sandhu going forward.
It's the perfect combination, though, between these two. I just think, given what we've seen early on today, it's really ideal that Sami Aslam is the man that sticks around, bats through the innings. You want to have someone that's well set come the 15th over. You can allow the likes of Chandel, Zia Shazad, Hamad Azam, who, of course, was the MVP of this tournament last year. You can have those guys coming in and being aggressive, but you need someone to spend time at the crease, because of the difficulty that we've seen in terms of getting in up and down surface. End of the over, at the end of 7, 57 for none. Let's have a look at some of what's transpired so far in this innings. It's been pretty much the Golden State Grizzlies show. A couple of half chances here and there. Sami Aslam, Karan Chandel, well, they really have brought the attack to. What I like, though, about it, Zubin, it's been controlled aggression. They've just targeted certain bowlers well, and they've also made use of the full dimensions of the field.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a credit to them. If you're picking up lengths Another one that's gone the distance.
So they really were able to make use of the first 6 overs. Remember, only 2 fielders outside the circle. They got it to 43. And while that's not the highest you could be possibly, the key thing, they did not lose a wicket. So now they've set a platform for themselves. Akash Veer Singh into the attack. Just first over went for just 7 runs, Akash Veer. And I mentioned the importance of him. 17 wickets in last year's edition. He's been that wicket taker for them. And I think that's why the captain's gone back to him for a second over so early.
Yeah, they need a breakthrough, and they got to get their #1 spinner to get an opportunity to get another wicket. And they need a bit of a breakthrough here. These guys are looking good. Already seen them hit a few balls.
Run out chance at the bowler's end, but they get home in the end. Good awareness by these two in the middle.
It's the second quick single they've taken in this over. That just releases the pressure, especially if somebody's bowling well. If you can get a single, you know, they saw that you could take a few runs off the previous bowler or the next bowler.
Oh, reverse sweep coming out, but finds the man. Didn't execute it well. What do you think is a good total?
Yeah, I think at this stage, anything 170 plus is going to be a good total. You know, it looks like it might deteriorate a little. There is a bit of turn in there.
But we did see, of course, 180. Be very difficult for the Hollywood Master Blasters to chase in the first game of today. Remember, every weekend we're going to be giving you that premium broadcast. 4 weekend games coming to you live on Willow TV and the MLC Network. Again, getting a bit of movement in the air on that occasion. Akash Veer Singh beating the outside edge of Karan Chandel. But Chandel's made his intent clear. He wants to go after the bowling. Probably rightfully so, given the platform that he has now being there for 21 deliveries.
Yeah, it's been going well so far, and it's working for him. Just like this delivery from young spinner here. He's just tossing it up a little bit. It's a very kind of over-the-top bowling action.
So just be another single. 60 comes up now in quick time. I think in these first 10 overs, though, especially, scoring is probably of less importance. It's all about building that platform, as we saw in game #1. End of 8 overs. Score now 62 for none. Score is stuck. That's wrong. Score is wrong. You can hear Pete still? So, end of 8 overs, in a really good position. Looking to fire now. Been a pretty hot day here in Woodley Park, Los Angeles. Getting the Western Conference underway. Going to be a change. Advantage Golden State Grizzlies at this stage. Haven't lost a wicket yet. Pretty well set after the first 8 overs. Just riding it on down to third man. Wants to. That's really good running from the Grizzlies. Not often do you see, especially on a quick outfield, hitting the ball straight to third man and being able to get back for 2. But as soon as Chandel hit it, he called for 2, and good response by Aslam.
Yeah, excellent running between the wickets there. Just goes to show the 1% factors that you have in a game. Could have easily just settled for the one, but the pressure, keeping the pressure on the team. Let's have a look at the run here. He wanted it right away. Turned blind.
Yeah, turned blind, but
still got it in the end.
Didn't matter to him. He was going regardless. And Shamsher Singh. So he's pretty much going to his different options. The captain, Abhimanyu Raj. He's only bowled 2 overs up front, 12 runs. I'm sure he'll be sparing with when he uses his overs. But Akash Veer Singh, those are the 2 that I'm watching because of the wicket-taking presence he has in this SoCal Lashings team. It's in the best interest of this Lashings, I think, to get a wicket. Again, wants to, and again, they're going to get it. Comfortably in the end by Karan Chandel. This is good cricket from the Golden State Grizzlies.
Yeah, I must say that's good. It's fantastic. They called early, ran the first one hard. Got there in the end. Let's have a little look again. Sami Aslam just played it. Probably just had it while he was crossing.
Just kept the scoreboard ticking over. You want to maximize this time, the partnership so far in the middle between these 2. Now obviously 67. Bulk of the scoring has been come from Chandel, but I think it's allowed Sami Aslam to play right into his comfort zone. Have seen him play those dangerous knocks. Very hard hitting, but for his team as captain, you need to bat as long as possible in this first 20 overs. Good start to the over, though, from Shamsher Singh. Just 7 conceded in the scheme of things when you look at it. You'll take that if you can close up with a dot or even a wicket.
Yeah, exactly right.
A good end to the over with a dot. So his over goes for 7 at the end of 9. 68 for none.
One, two, three.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need 1 hand on the roof, 1 hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go rewards, when you fuel, you save because rewards come first.
Lefty.
68 for none. After 9. Lashings desperately in need of a wicket. The captain's gone back to himself. Did produce some opportunities, but weren't able to pounce in the power play. Can he make a difference now? Abhimanyu Raj.
Skipper back on here again.
Wow, you can hear the noise off the bat. Listen to it. That's gone out the park. Huge hit from Sami Aslam. That's what time at the crease does for you.
Yeah, he's picked that one up nicely and this puts a massive amount of pressure on the bowler. The first ball going for 6. 5 balls left now in the over to try to get through unscathed.
Wanted a single, have to hurry and do in the end. So Karan Chandel it was, striking the maximum. What a knock this has been from him in terms of with his added aggression. He set the tone.
Not quite getting his run up right, skipper.
Again, likes to play that sweep. And I think he's doing the right thing here in this situation, Sami Aslam. The way Chandel has struck the ball, probably the smart thing to do in this situation is to feed him the strike.
Yeah, absolutely. And why not, right? You want the best, safest spot is to be at the other end. Another cliched term, but the other batter go. Let him have, you know, he's striking you well, let him go.
In the air, and is pounced on. A soft dismissal for Karan Chandel, who batted so well, just thrown it away. Thinking that one may have got a bit of extra turn, looking to hit it into the offside, and just comes off the leading edge. First wicket for the Lashings. Boy, did they need that.
A good catch as well. The fielder.
Just got a bit of extra spin and no real power on it from Chandel. Good catch in the end, though, by the cover fielder. So Chandel's gone for a well-played 37. 68 for 1. Zia Shazad comes to the middle, the batting all-rounder for the Golden State Grizzlies. Big part of their successes last season. New year, new challenge at hand, and he's got an excellent platform at the moment. 75 runs on the board. Wonder how he plays this situation. Do we see a continue of attack from Shazad, or does Sami Aslam, the captain, who has also been there for a long time, he then could take up the main aggressive role?
Yeah, I think, you know, as we saw it, once you want the batters to get in and have an assessment of the pitch a little bit. You know, it's not, like you said, it's not that easy to just get in and start hitting. It's not that flat. So ideally, they'd want to just get in, have a look at what's been happening, get through a couple overs of just singles, and then they can reassess and go after it.
Well, came across the stumps a long way. I wonder, was the impact outside off? They thought they had their man. Zia Shazad could be very fortunate.
Yeah, it's a good call by the umpire there. Just from initial assessment. Always a challenging job to be an official.
Oh, I think very interesting. You could see the entire leg stump, which always tells you that it could be going out to hit the stumps. The only question was the impact. It may have been outside off. Interesting call, very interesting call, but asking the right questions in that over. The captain came back into the attack, got the crucial wicket, 78. The 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, of course, presented by Sunoco. Thanks as well to our official sponsors, Dafa News, for being on board for this 2022 season. It's going to be Shamsher Singh back into the attack. Have seen options used for the captain and his Lashings.
Yeah, I think he pulled well the first over. I think had Chandel been still in the crease, he'd might have fancied himself at this stage.
Yeah, Zia Shazad, known for his aggression. Interesting to see him coming at number 3. Batted around 4 and 5 in last year's edition. But they are a team that do have depth. The likes of Hamad Azam, Mohit Nataraj as well. Both of those will be very important to the run scoring for the Grizzlies, not only in this game but across the season. Shamsher Singh continuing to get that bit of extra bounce, especially from that end as well. You see a lot more of the green grass. Down the ground from Sami Aslam. Just be one.
Good cricket there by Sammy, just down the ground. Still being positive, still trying to hit the ball hard. Still making good contact.
Have a good rapport, these two in the middle. Sami Aslam and Zia Shahzad. Best of friends, would have played a lot of cricket together in some of the other tournaments in the United States. So they have a really good relationship between them. Cut a pace off, and Zia Shahzad just picks out the man. Picked that delivery, clearly went down on one knee very early. But unfortunately for him, picked out the lone fielder in the onside. Just working to rectify that score issue for you. They're well past the 80-run mark now, the Golden State Grizzlies. Straight down the ground, and it will be a boundary. Zia Shahzad, he's been eyeing up Shamsher Singh for a couple of deliveries now. This time, gets it out the middle, executes well, picks up a boundary. Scoring continuing. It's actually Sami Aslam.
Sammy's continuing. I think they don't want to let Sammy get too. Let's hit that again.
Pulls it well. There is two fielders in the deep. Akash Veer Singh is a gun fielder, so quick. But the running even better from the Grizzlies to come out for two.
Excellent cricket all around. That's what you need from everybody. Have to put in, every run counts here. T20 cricket. Chasing the extra 5 runs in the last over is huge in the context.
Well, Shamsher Singh, an expensive over from him comes to an end. The Lashings looking for that second wicket. They need to break this partnership.
Bowling left arm round to you.
So it will be more spin. We've already seen several spin options used by the SoCal Lashings. And for them, it's going to be Repull into the attack. Again, we're just working to rectify the scoring issues for the viewers at home. If you are now joining us, though, this is game number 2 of Super Saturday here at the 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. Already had one game where we saw the Silicon Valley Strikers pick up a win. Sami Aslam, though, he's really constructed this innings well, especially since the departure of current Chandel Zubin. We've seen Sami Aslam up his intensity and up the aggressive intent.
Yeah, I think he's just in, he's hitting the ball well. Looks like a nice wicket for him. It's just coming on. He's just trying to get another partnership going with his partner there, Zia, a mate of his. And they're both just in a position to get going soon. Doesn't look like too much affecting them at this stage. Get quick single there. Pretty easy in the end.
Yeah, from this position, 80 plus inside the 12th over. Surely 160 at least will be on the cards. You bat them with the power of Ahmad Azam, Mohit Nataraj. Those two were so clinical for them last season, finishing innings off. Something would have to be seriously not able to get up to 160, even 170.
Absolutely, I think that's definitely be eyeing that. The batters would know best. That's a nice shot again.
Yeah, it's going to be more runs. Goes all the way for 6. The fielder there was in with a chance, Shamsher Singh at the boundary, but it just evaded him. And it's been Sami Aslam, all Sami Aslam in the last couple of overs.
Yeah, that's just spinner, just left arm spinner. Easy as you like for Aslam. Just picked that off nicely. Didn't need to do too much. Good timing. Got off the middle. And even the guy out there, that's a fairly big boundary. The square boundaries are a little bit bigger than the straight ones. So he must have hit it quite well.
Used his feet really well as well. Sami Aslam. This time in the offside. And it will be a dot, so that will end the over. We'll finish 12, and the Golden State Grizzlies well on their way of setting a big total in this first innings. 95 for 1 after 12.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, तेरे घर लाने का।
My son is so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your trousseau, the 2022 Tundra. Toyota, let's go places.
Back at the Woodley Park here in Los Angeles for the first weekend of this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. We've got 27 teams across the country will be competing for that. Of course, illustrious championship was won by the Silicon Valley Strikers in 2021. Seen already 2 overs consecutively by Shamsher Singh, the captain opting to keep him into the attack. Well, it is runs, and 6 of them as well for the Golden State Grizzlies. This is exquisite stuff from these two in the middle. This partnership has been extremely beneficial to the Grizzlies in this first innings, now up to 25.
Yeah, and I think this is just part of captaincy that Abhi might have to learn. I think he's the assessment of having, he bowled a couple good overs. He was looking to. He saw the temperament of the batters. They're looking to target him. And sure enough, the first ball of his third over, just gone the distance.
It was another really full delivery, but he did well because he tugged it from outside the off stump. That straight boundary we have seen many batters attack. We saw Roshan Primus in game 1. Not the biggest of boundaries straight behind. So Sia Shazad backing himself, backing his power.
I think he'll be going again here too. He realizes he can take advantage.
On the leg side. May have just clipped the pad on the way through, so gets away with it, Shamsher Singh. Score now 101 for 1 inside the 13th over. Shamsher Singh just helped down the leg side. Tried to help at least keeper.
I think Zia's certainly trying to size him up here. He's got the right amount of pace. He hasn't tried too much, no variation at this stage. Got away with that one, Zia. That's gone too. This hit with lots of power.
Yeah, this is turning out to be a big over for the Golden State Grizzlies. Already taken 11 runs from it. They still have 3 deliveries left. Zia Shazad on the charge. Now moves up to 15 from just 9, and again attacking the straight boundary just out of the reach of Shamsher Singh. Good awareness, good batting from these two in the middle.
Yeah, it starts putting pressure now. SoCal Lashings start having to think about who's your death bowling and who's it going to go to. It's mostly spin at this stage. Elmore has 2.
across the line. And again, into the one this time. Yeah, he has to think about 4 overs. 2 from Elmore Hutchinson, which has only conceded 6 runs. But also 2 from Akash Veer Singh, who is another big wicket-taking option. I think if you're the captain, Abhimanyu, you need to take a wicket. So he's going to have to think about that. He can't afford to just allow Zia Shazad to continue to attack because he will score and score quickly.
Yeah, he's looking to do that now, I'd say. Bold.
And again, Sami Aslam taking a back seat, but it's okay. You want someone spending time at the crease. We saw it in the first game with Unmuk Chan. He just bided his time until the last 5 overs, then he accelerated. This is good cricket from the Golden State Grizzlies. Good basics and fundamentals in terms of following the plan. Zia Shazad, again, this will be more runs. Try to split the gap between those 2 fielders.
Good running by these 2. Just to bring to your point, Sami Aslam he definitely can hit a ball, and he has. He's doing, you know, he's off to a good start here, closing in on a 50. But he's more than happy to just let it go.
Yeah, may have been hurt in the Zia Shazad, but it will end the over at the end of 13. 7 remain. The Grizzlies looking really good now to post a big total. 110 for 1. Almost the business end of this innings for the Grizzlies. 7 overs remain. They've got 9 wickets in hand from this. You expect them to get projected score 170. Repo back into the attack. It's gone full, and it's gone all the way for another maximum. And it's Sami Aslam this time getting in on the fun. And with that maximum, he goes to a half century. So the captain, leading from the front, goes to 52 from just 39 deliveries. He's played the ideal role for his team in ensuring that someone bats through the innings, and now looking to accelerate.
Yeah, I think they'd be targeting 180 plus now, if they can.
Sweeps this one and sweeps it well. Or does he? Fielder at the boundary does really well at deep backwards square.
Man, Elmore putting in the yards as usual. Good stuff by him there.
So all of a sudden, in just the first 2 deliveries, Repo now in serious pressure. This is T20 cricket. It's so important that you continue to get wickets because partnerships really can hurt you. We saw a 76-run partnership between Chandel and Sami Aslam, and now 41 more time between these 2.
I don't think he's connected with that one.
But he has.
Oh, he has.
We didn't think it would go all the way for 6, but Zia Shazad displaying brute force at the Woodley Park in Los Angeles. Another maximum for him. Another for this Golden State Grizzlies. This is a huge over so far, 13 runs from it.
Yeah, he's nicely, just from his initial reaction, I didn't think he connected, but he sure did. And that one, I think, too, is...
Full toss. And their man in the deep, though, Akash Veer Singh, would you believe it? He can't get to it. So things just going from bad to worse for this so-called Lashings team. They just can't seem to get a wicket.
They haven't managed to string a couple, 2 or 3 good dot balls and put anybody under pressure. And credit to them.
Who comes on the track this time, Sami Aslam. There is a cover fielder. He has work to do. He's been very busy on that boundary, Akash Veer Singh.
It's good fielding there by Singh. But yeah, we can't. It's really important. We saw in the previous game, if we can get 3 or 4 dot balls, just something happens. But they just haven't managed to do that at this stage. Something.
Well, on every delivery of this over, they've come down the track. Sami Aslam finds the boundary again. What an eventful over this has been. 20 runs come from the 14. Well on top on the rampage. The Golden State Grizzlies 130 for 1 after 14.
Golden State Grizzlies well poised here. Sami Aslam 59, offers just 42 with 5 boundaries and 3 sixes. Chandel had a cameo there, 44 off 29, 1-4, 4 sixes, strike rate of 151. Shahzad 25 balls, 1 boundary, 2 sixes. Well poised here. Grizzlies looking good. Sami Aslam, very impressive the way he's gone about it.
We have seen some really good individual performances so far in this minor league. Just day 1, and it feels like so much has happened, but it's really only day 1. And if that's a gauge as to what's to come in the next month and a half, well, really exciting action. Already seen big run scoring from the likes of Unmuk Chan. Off the outside edge, hasn't got this well, Shahzad, and he just picks out the extra cover. But you don't mind this if you're the Grizzlies because he's done his job. 25 from 14 for Shahzad. Got to move on, but in the end, no rare execution for the first time today for him.
Yeah, just he's obviously going to go with it. Here's a replay of it. Probably could have gone around the offside a little bit more. Ball was just on the offside stump line, but in the end, just a comfortable catch. Their main guy, Sami Aslam, still there.
So Shahzad going for 25, 130 for 2. We've already seen. Sami Aslam get to 50, the captain get to a half century, and in comes Hamad Azam. So Hamad Azam, the MVP from last year, Zubin, will be looking to continue that. He got 12 wickets, but also 411 runs. But listen to the strike rate, 187 across the 14 innings. That was the thing that stood out the most to me. This man is a 6-hitting master if he gets in.
Those are some impressive numbers. I always envy guys who can hit a few 6s. That's always key in this form of the game.
You can see it there, 411 last year's tournament. Who's so good at this. Coming in at a time where his team, the openers like Shahzad and Sami Aslam had built a platform, then he could come in and play freely. Just dabbed down to short third. All runs through, almost. Direct hit could have been very interesting. Almost hits the stumps. Already today, Zubin, we've had 6 half centuries across the minor league.
Just fantastic signs. Already with that many runs going on the board, means the wickets are somewhat conducive for hitting. Ones this morning, there's 184 runs in the first inning over here, and now we're well on that way over in this innings as well. So good signs. Like seeing it. T20 cricket, you want to see some hitting and scores in that 160 to 180, 190 range. It's always good. Makes it interesting. Keeps you in the game. To get the ball nice and full off stump. New batter, I don't mind that. Can't give up extras at this stage. No trouble going for wickets, and and bowling that extra Yorker ball.
Aslam will finally get off the mark. Tried it for a couple of deliveries, straight to cover. And they're going to get it overthrow as well. Not great cricket from the SoCal Lashings.
Oh, what the fuck is that?
So it will mean a double to end the over at the end of 15. Now we have one more delivery. Throwing me off here. The umpires saw a bit of movement. Tricking me. But one delivery for Hamad Aslam to cash in. Short and just pulled into the onside, will be a single. So one more delivery. Hamad Aslam, what's going to be key for him though? Very hard as we've seen on this surface to come in and just begin to hit straight away. We saw Roshan Primus do it with his 26 from 10 deliveries. You think it's very important that he doesn't waste too many deliveries in terms of getting in. Sami Aslam knows he missed out there. It was a short delivery. Tried to pull it all along the ground though. 136 for the loss of 2 wickets at the end of 15 overs.
My son is so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At SoCal, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
Akashveer Singh, you mentioned these 2 overs, so critical for the SoCal Lashings. Is it SoCal or SoCal?
SoCal, Southern California, Lashings.
SoCal, okay. You know, I have to get the Bajan accent. Could give me some problems.
No way, that's one of the better accents going around.
You find so? I don't find everyone in the world loves the Bajan accent, Zubin.
I don't think they understand the charm of it. But they can't quite get it. I grew up around a lot of Bajans, so I have a bit of an ear for it.
I can tell you, they love the Canadian one, and they love what Sami Aslam is doing at the moment. The cap to the 60s now. You reckon, though, Zubin, it's very important that he stays there to the end. I want to see him back to the 20th over because it's an area where I thought he could have improved on in 2021. He just did the hard yards, got starts, but then threw it away too often. I want to see him bat the full 20 like we saw from Unmuk Chan, get up into the 90s and get his team to a comfortable position.
Yeah, I mean, I think at 2 down at this stage, you could probably maybe 1 or 2 overs just bat the way he's going and then maybe have a go if there's still one. But they've got wickets in hand. And, you know, if you can start going after it a little bit, doesn't want to leave it too late. They should be targeting 185 to 190 at this stage with only 2 wickets down. And obviously, like you said, Aslam can hit a ball. Strike rate 180.
Of course, title sponsors Toyota on board again for the 2022 season. So great having them as well. You know, I've seen around the grounds what they've done to integrate cricket into their sort of branding and company. Just some really fun, interactive games we saw at the finals weekend last year. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they have planned for the 2022 season as well.
Yeah, we were saying earlier, it's nice to see 2 recognizable, you know,
huge actually, not just
global
nice,
brands, huge brands supporting minor league cricket and domestic cricket in the U.S. It's fantastic. If you'd have thought 5-10 years ago, you'd never think about something like this. You know, this is 27 teams across nationally, an 8-week tournament, not even a week-long tournament. It's fantastic to see. Some good cricket on the cards.
Well, it was short and pulled disdainfully. That was as much power as the Toyota Tundra from Hamad Aslam. And this is what this man has made a living from, hitting huge sixes. And the Golden State Grizzlies now, this is what they're known for. Just piling on the runs. Mentioned Toyota, mentioned Sunoco. Hamad Aslam, well, he's up there in terms of excellence. Just too short from Akash Veer Singh. He's not going to miss out on that. Man with those long levers. Sweeps this one, but can't get it away.
Always noticed that in T20s, the guys, sometimes they're just a little bit, you know, at first they can't quite get it, but what they're very good at doing is being able to hit the loose delivery for 6. That just changes everything. You know, you're going out and run a ball. Let's say you're going at 10 runs off 10 balls. All of a sudden you hit a 6, you're 16 off 11.
Well, another good over for the Grizzlies as they get down to the business end. 10 runs from it, 146 for 2. Hamad Aslam, MVP of this 2021 minor league tournament. And boy, would they need him again to be very similar. I think more with the bat in hand in situations like this, Zubin, than with the ball. He only took 11 wickets last year. Wasn't really relied upon when you think about the aggressive wicket takers that they have. But with the bat coming in at number 4 today, 7 overs remain, he's so important to their plans.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always good to have an all-rounder who can hammer it, get a few wickets, you know, give you 4 overs every so often.
It was full in the air, chance of a catch, but didn't carry to the man at long off. Always such a fascinating thing to see batters, even with long on and long off, bat themselves, take on.
Those days are long gone. You can put everybody on the boundary, everyone's still going. It's just the nature of the game. And you see it even in the longer version, 50 overs, even in tests we just saw recently. England chased down a mammoth total. It's good to see. There's one benefit from the aggressiveness of T20 cricket.
Let me put you on the spot here, Zubin. We already seen for the day Saurabh Chavalkar with his 5 wickets, Unmuk Chan with his 94. The two of them headlining DAFA News for sure. You can check out your cricketing news there. Who's going to be the next player on DAFA News? Power's gone off. Power's off. Power or something's off. Yeah, Pete. Pete. Are you there, Pete? Yeah, we're hearing you. The generator was off. It's back now.
the fuse. It's back again.
So, back live. Sorry for that break in transmission. Hamad Aslam, Sami Aslam still continuing. And they have been extremely dangerous.
If I was a SoCal Lashings here, if I can keep it under 180, which is going to be a huge effort.
But deliveries like that won't help their cause. Full toss, which has been signaled, no ball. So it's going to be 5 no balls and a free hit upcoming for Hamad Aslam. I saw the umpire waved his hand, but no, I thought it was a boundary. I think it's just a no ball. Yeah, definitely over waist height. Saw the umpire. They've been playing games with me today, you know, the umpires. Moved his hand in a forward signal, made me think it was a boundary, but it wasn't. Free hit, gets away with it, the SoCal Lashings.
Sammy should have probably done a bit better with that one. A slow bouncer to the long side. It's not a bad tactical move, to be honest. He would have had a chance to change the field given the run off the no ball. He should have probably tried to go up and go over.
Well, this is Hamad Aslam time. This is where he's been so lethal in T20 innings. Last 5 overs, he's been able to attack.
Yeah, he would really be loving this. Aslam, this is exactly what he's after.
He came across outside the off stump a long way, Hamad Aslam, able to make contact.
I'd like to see those balls just going straight. Not a lot of pace. It's just easier to sometimes just go straighter and just more. We saw that Chandel earlier hitting in that arc, just hitting straight and going for 6. Whether through long on, long off. Just hitting straight down the ground.
Ends the 17th over, 154 for 2.
Sheikh Singh.
Akashvir Singh into the attack. Into pretty crucial time bowling the 18th over. You don't generally see spinners bowling at this time of the innings.
I've seen Elmore coming in. He's going to probably bowl the next 2 overs. Next.
Yeah, the penultimate.
The penultimate.
Well, actually, Zubin, he's actually only able to bowl 1 of the next 2 overs, given that he has 2, which is a very interesting move, given that he's only conceded 6 runs in his first 2. I expect him to be the main wicket-taking option. This one is in the air, but it is wide of that man at long off. He can't stop it, so Sami Aslam continuing. This is a proper captain's innings from him. Moves into close to 69 now.
Yeah, just going back to Elmore. I think that might have been a miscalculation on the captain's side. This game moves quickly and sometimes you don't get your maths right. I think he might have missed a step here. Like you said, 2 overs, 6 runs.
Well, you have seen Sami Aslam with the urgency, and also he's relied on his feet a lot throughout this inning, especially to the spinners. He's continuously gone down the track to get close to the pitch of the ball, and that could be because of the purchase, the bit of extra grit we've seen the spinners be able to attract in both games. So it's good, innovative, but good thinking from Sami Aslam. Again coming down the track, and again he goes big. That is out of the top drawer from the captain.
What a great shot there. Again, once again, like you said, just using his feet. Not a huge swing, just got to the pitch of it. Just looked like he just helped it on its way. Bit of bottom hand at the end.
If you're now not familiar with the man, Sami Aslam, he comes with immense international experience, would have played at the Test and one international level for Pakistan. We've already had one season of him where he was just extraordinary for the Grizzlies, got them to that conference finals, to finals weekend as well, after winning the Western Conference. But this year, they're looking to go one more. They're looking to win the tournament, and this is the start that they needed. Sami Aslam, 13 Test matches, nationals, was able to average over 30 in Test cricket. He's been a revelation in the minor league and continuing right where he left off from 2021. A good over for the Golden State Grizzlies. End of 18, just 2 remain. It's 168 for 2. Almost going 9.5 runs per over. At this rate, expect to get to 8. And you look at the bowling attack of the Grizzlies, given the reinforcements that they've brought in Rushir Joshi, Isa, and Adil, very tough to think that the SoCal Lashings can chase that down. Mind you, they do have some exciting players, the Lashings, likes of Dale Phillips, Elmore Hutchinson, who we mentioned, can hit the ball. Kateni Clark as well. But they'll need to really close this innings out well. Not only for the fact that you don't want to be chasing any total in excess of 180, but also Zubin for the momentum side of things as well. You don't want to go into the innings break under the pump with your team just have been, hit to all parts of the ground.
And rightfully, exactly. You want to have a bit of momentum, whether it's you've managed to keep them at a restricted level, at a score that they probably wouldn't have got. But it's going to be tough at this stage. I think Ellie might be able to do it here, but to keep it under 190 or 185, it's going to be rather challenging.
So it will be Elmore Hutchinson. Already puzzled to find out the reasoning why he hadn't bowled out his quarter. He won't be able to bowl his full quarter. Still has some 2 overs remaining. He bowled his third now, just 6 runs, and in a game where they've conceded. Really can't figure the thinking of the captain as to why he wouldn't go back to Hutchinson for his full full 4.
Yeah, I think the only thing I can think of is just forgot about the big fella.
Well, I can tell you can't forget when you're facing a team like the Golden State Grizzlies, who would have won the Western Conference last year, completely dominant in the 2021 minor league, and then in this tournament as well. They're showing you why they've been so successful. They're just a professional unit. The Grizzlies, 12 wins, just 2 losses in the entire season last year. Of course, before they went to North Carolina and then were beaten by the Silicon Valley Strikers, who went on to win the tournament.
Yeah, they certainly look a good side. Obviously experienced. They're gonna want to see if they can capitalize on having a proper season last year.
Short, pulled, and a man on the boundary. It doesn't matter. He can only fetch. This has been you hit, I miss from Hamad Azam. And he's hit quite a number of times in this innings.
Yeah, not the best ball at that stage, I think. Just kind of rank into the pitch. Easily helped over. It's a fine balance, of course. It's easy from this chair here. You know what goes on. It's always nice to sit in a comfortable chair and figure out which way you're going to be bowling. All credit to Azam here. Like you said, he's probably maintaining that 180 strike rate or this close to it.
I would be disappointed if they don't get up to 200 from here. 175, still 8 legal deliveries, 10 legal deliveries remaining in the over. And the innings, 186 at this stage. So Elmore Hutchinson, the all-rounder. Just 6 from his first 2 overs. Already he's conceded 7 in the first 2 deliveries of this one. But if he can get out of this over without conceding a boundary, it would be a small win. Have to build in minor victories. Here the Lashings full toss. Saw Ahmad Aslam coming across his off stump. Looked to push it even wider. Fortunate though, because it was a full toss to get away with it.
Yeah, very fortunate there. Using the full toss every so often can be a bit of a tactic, especially if you want to try to bowl or hit to one, force the batters to hit on one side instead of field. But I think on that one, he probably just got away. But either way, just the 1 run.
Full toss. Sami Aslam hasn't got it at all, but it's put down. Should have been taken, and a run-out chance as well. Direct hit. He's given. Not great cricket from Sami Aslam. He was ball watching. The catch was dropped. And in the end, lucky to get the run-out. Elmore Hutchinson can only laugh. It doesn't go to his figures, but more importantly, the team has finally got the wicket of Sami Aslam. Direct hit was gone by a pretty long way, Sami Aslam. Just ball watching a bit in the end. Not great cricket, but it's been a great innings from him. He has to depart for 79, a real captain's knock to open the season. Score now 175 for 3. But with that wicket, the run out, comes the end of a real crucial partnership for the Grizzlies. 46 it was worth. And you look at the partnership so far, Zubin, 76 between the openers, 54 between Zia Shahzad and Sami Aslam, and then Ahmad Aslam doing the bulk of the scoring in a 46-run partnership. Because they've been able to spend time at the crease, it just hasn't allowed the SoCal Lashings to come into the game with the ball in hand.
So we talked about that momentum. Can they just kind of bring it back slightly? At one point we're talking about 195, 200. Either way, this is still already a very competitive score.
Mohit Nataraj has come to the middle for the Golden State Grizzlies. These two would have been the main closers of the innings for the Grizzlies last season. I know we're referencing that 2021 season quite a number of times because this is game number 1, of course, of the 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. But the Grizzlies, they were dominant in 2021, winning the Western Conference. And boy, have they started in the right direction in 2022. End of 19, 178 for 2. For 3, correction. So 1 over remains in this contest for the Golden State Grizzlies.
Brave. It's a brave choice by the captain here. Last over. Holding himself.
Well, you know about the saying, Zubin, backing yourself, but boy, is he doing it. To bowl the final over, Abhimanchu, Raj. Well, much slower, comes down the track, Ahmad Aslam. He misses, the keeper does the rest. So wickets falling now, quick succession for the Golden State Grizzlies. And this could be a huge moment in the match. 1.200 left on the cards, all of a sudden a few quick wickets. In.
Well done there. I think he probably assumed that he'd be coming down the track and pushed it a little bit wider. Good take by the keeper as well.
So Hamad Aslam, he's gone for 23. And now 2 wickets have fallen in the space of 3 deliveries. 176 for 4.
Just like that. SoCal Lashings, I don't think they'd be too upset at this point with where things are. Like they said, they can keep the maintain, keep it under 185, which would be a tough task with 5 balls remaining. Basically the license to just swing with this many wickets in hand. But you never know.
I think if they can close up this over well, the SoCal Lashings, they could be in a real good position. Yes, there's still a lot of runs on the board. They'll need to go at 9s and over at least to start. But you have to think at one stage they were extremely under the pump in that partnership with Sami Aslam and Hamad Aslam. After the 15th over, they were 136 for 2. After 17, they were 154. So they've done well to contain in these last 2 or 3 overs. And it just begs the question again. Elmore Hutchinson, could he have been used a bit better? Could we have seen his full quota of 4 being bowled by the captain?
Yeah, exactly. That's a question to be asked.
Just 15 runs conceded by Hutchinson. The ramp comes out. And it will get to the boundary. So innovative stuff from the Grizzlies. Sometimes that's what's needed from a new batter. Doesn't matter how they come at this stage. They have to find the boundary.
Yeah, really well played. Probably just saw the fielder not in that position. Not a lot of those shots been played so far anyway. Well done just to use the pace. He's fairly quick through the air, so it's not a bad option. But he really had to hit that one, otherwise the stumps were in order.
A reverse sweep this time on the other side of the surface, but it's gone. Wicket for, again, for Abhimanyu Raj, the captain. He picks up his 3rd, and his plan, his brave plan to bowl the final over of spin works. Just looking to be a bit too innovative. And you just think, how important could this be to the overall passage of play? Short stay at the crease comes to an end for Shiva Mishra. After that first delivery, he hit for 4, nothing else. He's gone for 4, 181 for 5. So with that wicket, all of a sudden, things looking on the up for the SoCal Lashings. You look at the last 9 deliveries, they've only conceded 13 runs. And at this stage of the innings, you don't mind that too much if you're the captain and the SoCal Lashings. You want to go into that innings break on your side. They could have easily got to 200 at one stage. All of a sudden, that seems like a mountain to climb. Singh comes in. It'll be a dot ball to start.
Exactly that. I mean, still obviously is still a good score. Just keeping, got to say, it's been well bowled this over. Skipper.
Big swing and a miss. Comes off the keeper, almost cannon into the stumps. It could have had a 3rd, Raj. But what a superb last over this has been. Still 1 delivery left, not over yet.
Still a win, like we said. It's just the small things. They'd be proud of the way they bowled in the last 3 overs. Just to keep them under 200. They could easily have been close to 200, if not more, at some point. Now 185 is even 180 at this stage is not the worst, all things considered.
And again, will be another dot delivery. What a final over that has been from the SoCal Lashings, and the captain Abhimanyu to bowl a spinner. The final over of the innings was always a brave call. He took 2 wickets and just conceded 5 runs. So a good end to the innings. 182 on the board, but you have to credit the Grizzlies and what they've been able to do. Compliments of their captain, Sami Aslam, with a huge contribution to start this tournament.
Yeah, just put them in a position to get a score like that. Just setting the tone right from this from ball 1 has been good. Been switched on, ran well between the wickets. Was able to build a good partnership. And now you can see 182 for the loss of just 5 wickets in their 20 overs.
Well, the batting card, you can see Sami Aslam, the main standout at the top of the order. They were able to build partnerships within that top 4. Aslam got 79. He was the highlight, but Karan Chandel, don't underestimate the importance of that innings. 44 at the top of the order. Zia Shazad came in, continued the onslaught with 25, and in the end, Hamad Azam with the 6 hitting ability.
Just from the SoCal Lashings, Elmer Hutchison, for some reason, just to 3 overs, 15 runs, with one of the balls actually going for 6. So good over from him. Captain Raj, 4 overs, T5 for 3. Good bowling in the last area. Sandu a little expensive, 4 for 45. And that was basically the pick of it. We'll be back.
So the SoCal Lashings will need 183 if they are to pick up their first win in this tournament. Let's have a look at the highlights and what would have unfolded in that first innings. And really and truly, most of the innings went to the way of the Golden State Grizzlies. Sami Aslam began a bit quiet, but it was all the Karan Chandel show. Back-to-back 6s in that over off the seamer. And Chandel clearly had a plan to just attack and allow Sami Aslam to be at the other end and back through the innings. Akash Veer Singh was impressive with some deliveries that spun. But Karan Chandel, anything in his area, he was comfortable with. Sami Aslam soon would get in on the act. Another 6 over long off, took on the straight boundaries pretty much throughout the day. And again, went straight back over the bowler's head, whether it was seam, whether it was spin. He continued right where he picked up from 2021, 500 runs, averaging over 50. Did extremely well. Zia Shazad came to the crease and he picked up the run scoring, was aggressive, but selective in terms of his shot play and shot making. And then not easy shots to play by any means coming down the track. Did see the use of the feet pretty much main highlight throughout the innings for the Grizzlies. That was the wicket of Zia Shazad. One too many for him. Just fell out, sorry, held out at extra cover. Well, the 6s really continued throughout the innings. 12 6s hit total. That was a drop chance, but in the end, they'd still got the run out of Sami Aslam. He was just ball watching a bit. Stumping of Hamad Azam. And this is where Abhimanyu, the captain, will be very happy with the way he closed off the last innings to take 2 wickets and restrict the Grizzlies at one stage, who looked like getting 200, to just 182 for 5. So when we return, we will have the run chase. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss this. When we return in about 10 minutes time, we'll have the Lashings looking for that 183 to pick up their first win in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championships.
You're watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. You're watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco.
Yeah. Now this is, now we move, this would be the line, and we just keep stretching the pitch down. Kind of help.
So the opening batter is walking out for the SoCal Lashings team, of course, with that 183 as the target. What they'll need, want to pick up a win. But would be an upset, you think, Zubin, against a team that only lost 2 games last season and have posted 182, but they do have some real powerful players in that batting lineup. Early wickets will be needed.
Yeah, I was hanging around the ground the other day for the Lashings practice. The gentleman that's taking guard now, Clark. Saw him hit a few into the, with ease, hit a few in. I was busy in the parking lot. A couple guys had to move a car. He gets going. Looks like I said, it looks like a decent wicket. Quick outfield. You know, smallish boundaries straight. You know, 185, 182 to win. It's definitely, but this is the man we've kind of excited to see, Ihsan Ali.
Yeah, Ihsan Adil, the opening bowler for the Golden State Grizzlies. Boy, does he come in with some resume under his belt. So many matches played in Pakistan at the first class level for Adil. And also at the international level, 6-1 internationals. Starts down the leg side. We'll have to rebowl that one. Bowling to Keteni Clark, who is another very experienced player. This is what's been so impressive about the minor league, especially this year. Seen a real influx of skillful players who are experienced at a very high level. Keteni Clark would have played first-class cricket in New Zealand. May have gotten away with one there. Overstepped. Ihsan Adil. Always difficult for the umpires to see that. We have the luxury, of course, of the replay. And on the way already, Keteni Clark, and he will get it past. No fielder on the boundary in the leg side, so a good start from the Lashings. They have to be aggressive from pretty much the onset if they want to get close to this total.
Yeah, that's nicely done. Even the first ball that went down, he was already getting, he looked to get onto it. Even this one, slightly short. He's onto it pretty quickly. It's good signs. Wicket looks pretty flat and nice. So it might be a good chase on our hands if these guys can get to 6 or 7 overs for 50 runs. Got a game on our hands for sure. But like you said, Ihsan, very experienced. Played a lot of good cricket. This won't faze him.
Well, takes that from off his stumps, Keteni Clark into the onside. Yeah, Clark comes in. I mentioned Ihsan Adil in his resume, but Clark pretty impressive as well. 16 T20s in New Zealand, able to strike at close to 150. And would have just watched him in the Super Smash. That's the local, pretty much franchise tournament in New Zealand, and he would have scored 71 from 34 deliveries at the top of the order to win the game and the tournament for his team, the Northern Districts. Excited to see how he now adapts to New Zealand, of course. Much hotter here in Los Angeles. Harpreet Singh at the other end, facing his first delivery. Wow, stand and deliver from Singh. And a bit of finish as well at the end. The follow through, just holding his pose. That's gorgeous. Good way to start. This is a big first over.
Anyone who has 3 digits on the back of their shirt definitely has a bit of swag to them. 172, assuming that's a score, not anything else. Just picked up that. Good pressure on Ihsan here. It's nicely picked up. See how he responds.
Well, he goes again, Ihsan Adil, and he has all of it. 6 runs. But what a start this has been for the SoCal Lashings. We're already seeing power from Katani Clark, but Harpreet Singh, he's in a rush. And they're not too phased with what Isan Adil's done prior to this. See-ball, hit ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And a good way to be. No point playing the bowler, just playing the ball. That's the way he plays. He's clearly successful. Let's put pressure on Ishan here.
Well, Singh wanted a single, sent back in the end by Clark. Luckily, he gets home. Wouldn't want to have a run out at this stage, given the hard work that they've done. 18 from the over already.
Wanted to have a start to chase 180. That's the way you go about it.
But they only need to go at 8.5. I can tell you if they continue like this. Harpreet Singh, 12 from 2. And he's on a deal. That's pretty surprising to me, the way that they've disdainfully struck him all parts of the ground. A bowler that relies so much on that seam movement, those strong wrists behind the ball. Attempted slower delivery, and it's going to have to re-bowl that one as well. So this is a really expensive over, and there's still 2 deliveries remain.
Just trying to execute a slower delivery. This would be a good test for Hassan. Just didn't get it. He bowled really well in the MLC camp we had just under a month ago.
Yep, took part in the Houston Challenge against some of the MLC players, as well as the USA International team as well. And really stood out in that tournament. Yeah, you see that strong wrist behind the ball, and much more in terms of the area and where he'll want to operate from. On a good length, very hard to hit. End of the first over, a huge over for the SoCal Lashings. 19 comes from it. Well on their way.
Right time over.
Well, when you're chasing 182, made that 183. 19 from the first over is pretty much the ideal start for any chasing team. A lot of batting to come. Dale Phillips, the power of Elmore Hutchinson towards the lower order. Clark goes again. Rushir Joshi, new bowler into the attack. It doesn't matter, it's the same result. They're dealing in maximums. Third of the innings, this time Clark, he's seen enough. He wants to get in on the fun as well.
Saw him earlier, like I said, just really strong. Just kind of a loosener. You can't, T20 cricket, you got to have your best ball going. Can't just be pitched up. Just went the distance. Strong fella.
Again, banged into the surface and into the onside, but they've really attacked pretty much from the onset. There's been no hesitancy from these two openers. Clearly, they're very aware of the situation. Need to score 8.5 runs per over, but they're striking like they need to score 20 runs and over.
Yeah, they no need to change anything if that's the way they want to play.
Has to be careful though, and doesn't want to try to hit it too hard.
Yeah, they're doing well. Just to keep their composure. Clark is an experienced player as well.
Oh, cover drive. Wow. Shot of the day. Shot of the day. Singh. And this is a tremendous innings that is causing some worry in the camp of the Golden State Grizzlies.
Nice flowing cover drive. It's elegant there. Just a bit of a stand and deliver. It's obviously a pretty strong guy. I like that. Just eased into it. Every shot so far he's hit.
Well, he held the pose for the cameras. I expect to see that one on Dafa News later today. Of course, Dafa News, the official sponsor of this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. That was a gorgeous shot. Harpreet Singh. And they've already attacked the seam. It's going to make Sami Aslam, the captain, think a bit. Does he go to Vatsa Vaike? One of his spin options very early on. Would have expected to bowl him in the power play. Zia Shazad, the leg spin, is another option he can go to. Much better from Rushir Joshi. Doesn't want to be too full to Harpreet Singh, who's pounced on anything in his area, any half volley. But an eventful first 2 overs. They're dealing in maximums, dealing in runs at the moment, the SoCal Lashings, after the first 2 overs. Well, if you're now joining us, don't move a muscle. This is an intriguing run chase at the moment. And already past the 30-run mark inside 2 overs. Of course, they need 182, but if they can continue like this inside the power play, Zubin, all of a sudden 182 could feel like 120.
Yeah, like we said earlier, this is not the biggest ground. The wicket seems to be settling down and playing nicely. They've set themselves up really well here.
Or straight back, and it's put down. Ihsan Adil had it in his hand. And it just slipped out of the last minute. Big opportunity, gone a begging. Kateni Clark, it was on the back foot. Didn't hit it well. Didn't middle it, and Ihsan Adil may have hurt himself in the process. I think he split his webbing. Never easy, always painful.
I think he probably thought a little bit quicker and just didn't get it right in the spot that he wanted.
You can see really in some pain that left hand. Luckily, it's not the right hand, the bowling hand of Ihsan Adil, but it will pain him. So getting some treatment, Ihsan Adil. Those return catches at pace, never easy, but he had it in his hand for a long time. Here's another look at it. It was struck firmly back. Adil, again, those strong wrists behind the ball, and didn't connect with it as well as he would have wanted Kateni Clark. He literally caught the ball, and then somehow it just slipped out of his hand at the last minute. So Ihsan Adil getting some treatment to that left hand. Suspect it is a split webbing. Never easy. Here's how the innings has unfolded so far. It's been all the SoCal Lashings. Kateni Clark opened the innings off with a boundary, but then it's been all maximums. 1 over long on. Harpreet Singh from the other end has attacked anything full. That probably was a shot of the day, shot of the minor league championship we've seen. Put that on the front page, the cover of Dafa News tonight. And of course, special thanks to our sponsors, the presenting sponsors, Sunoco. The title sponsor, Toyota, as well. Wouldn't be possible this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, the second season. First day, what a day it's been. So eventful. We've seen several teams get underway in terms of with victories across. The Atlanta Fire opened their account with a win. The Morrisville Raptors and the Orlando Galaxy both on a point apiece after no result there. But the Philadelphians, the Titans, the Yorkers, all picking up wins. So good to see pretty competitive action on day one. We just look like we're ready for the resumption. And of course, in the Pacific Conference on the other side of the US, these two teams, the only ones to get underway from Group B. So just about ready to get underway again, Zubin. Ihsan Adil seems like he's back ready. Luckily, it was the left hand that was hurt. Here he is again. Clark can't beat the infield.
He's added a bit of insult to injury there with that previous return catch and drop. But after a bit of treatment, good to see that he's back. It'll work in their favor, just having a bit of momentum that was going the Lashings way, just to kind of calm it down, slow it down a bit, even with that little break in.
Down the track, goes straight up. Katini Clark should be taken, should be the first wicket for the Grizzlies, and it's put down. The second catch going to begging in the over. They're not doing themselves any favors. Big chance going to begging. Look to be Vatsal Vaghela for the track. Grizzlies,
goes straight up.
unable
Katini
to
Clark should be
complete the
taken.
catch. Really, Zubin, he has to do better with that one. Went up for a long time.
A little surprised the keeper didn't call for it and go after those type of things you want to.
And he goes again this time over the top, and the man in the deep takes the catch. And look at what it means. Look at the celebration. They finally got their man. Harpreet Singh is walking back. It's a superb catch on the long off boundary by Zia Shazad. And a big chance finally pounced on. The third time in the over that they created a wicket-taking opportunity. Had to take it, the Grizzlies, and they did just that.
What a fantastic effort to get there. And like you said, it means a lot. These are the kind of things that change the momentum in a match. What a great way. And definitely a team huddle. Just to regroup and get back to it. Put some semblance back in there.
So after a small cameo where we've seen 2 maximums and a boundary, he's gone for 16. And they lose their first, finally, the SoCal Lashings. 30 for 1.
Ball must have been up in the air for quite a... Ball must have been up in the air quite a lot for the guy. Just inside the circle to make it almost into the boundary. Take the catch. Let's see if we can see it here.
Well, they went a long way. The way Harpreet Singh has struck it, you thought it was going for another maximum. Running back, Zia Shazad stopped himself right in front of the boundary. That is one of the best catches we've seen all day. And Ihsan Adil probably deserves it. 2 wicket-taking options, well, deliveries which were produced weren't taken. Zia Shazad, in the end, gets the first wicket. Katani Clark comes in. Adil's been expensive. You don't usually see a bowler of his experience going at over 11.5 per over. That's been because of the carnage which has been caused by these SoCal Lashings openers. But the main thing is that they've struck early, the Grizzlies. That will help them and do their confidence a world of good. It was a brave move by Captain Sami Aslam to back his fellow countryman and go back to Adil after the brutal first over we witnessed. And in the end, the strike bowler getting the result.
Yeah, and the right move for him as well. The right move for him, the captain, to bring on his ace fast. You got to back him. Sometimes you're going to get hit. That's just the nature of the game. It's good that he's backed him.
No ball signaled, and it's going to be runs. The runs continue to pile on, not phased by that wicket, Kateni Clark. And it's going to be a no ball 6 as well. Free hit coming up. Runs continuing to flow for the SoCal Lashings. This one was even better, just picked it up on a good, well, full length. Mid-on up in the circle, knew he had to stepping again. We did see that as a problem in his first over. Now the umpire able to pounce on it. So still one delivery remain in the third over. Full toss, gets away with it. Ihsan Adil, just be a single, so probably a good result. Free hit delivery at the end of 3. Even though the Grizzlies have taken the wicket in that over, they need to find a stop to the bleeding at the moment. 38-39 for 1. So Dale Phillips come to the crease now to join Kateni Clark. Another one of those players. These two fellow countrymen, both from New Zealand, and both in as the marquee and wildcard players for the SoCal Lashings. And Dale Phillips, brother of a familiar name known to world cricket, Glenn Phillips, who obviously would have come to the Caribbean, very near to the US, played the CPL for a number of years, last year for the Barbados Royals. So can he make his impact? Has a similar build to Glenn Phillips as well.
Yeah, strong lad. He's behind the stumps for most of the day today.
Just wonder, will he have the same power as well? Have to wait and see. Oh, that one really keeping low. Vatsa Vaikela, it is into the attack for the first time today.
It's a good first delivery and good signs. That's exactly what Golden State want to see. Vatsa, good left arm spinner.
2 good deliveries, dot deliveries to start. Not an easy challenge bowling to Kateni Clark. The way he's struck it so far, 1-4-1-6 for him.
Certainly isn't having a look. Just wants to go. Clearly that's just the way. The pressure's on the bowler.
Good start from the left arm spin of Vatsa Vaikela. And also for Vaikela, it's a big couple of months coming up. He's been selected in that team to go to Zimbabwe for the T20 International Qualifier, the T20 World Cup Qualifier. Really good season for him last year, which would have led him to that 29 wickets taken in 18 matches. Average of 11. Wow, you don't see that every day from spinners, especially in T20 cricket. So because of that good performance, it then merited him a position in the USA team. A very competitive left arm spinner role. Another full delivery, another good stop at cover.
This is fantastic bowling.
But he has grown massively in terms of his bowling. Vatsa Vaikela, last year was a huge season for him. 1 T20 International so far in his career. Very young. Vaikela, 20 years old. My age, Zubin.
Only a baby face. Doesn't look like it. Looks like a seasoned, smart bowler.
How many 20-year-olds can say that they've represented their country at the international level? We'll get back to it in the next over. End of 4 overs. The score, 40 for 1.
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At SoCal, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
So Rusher Joshi, 1 over, very expensive. Back into the attack. Katani Clark with some pace there from Joshi. Unable to connect with that one. Still 2 overs remaining in this power play. They want to maximize. We did see only 43 come from the first 6 overs when the Grizzlies were batting. Just beat him in terms of bounce. Probably expected to bounce a bit more. Are seeing some signs of that variable bounce we saw very early on this morning. Interesting how this surface has deteriorated throughout the day. Connects with this one, Katani Clark, and it will get to the boundary. There was a field in the circle, but he couldn't cut it off. And Rusher Joshi continues to travel the distance.
Yeah, I think so just to get a little creative with the field here. He's not looking to hit too far. He's not looking to hit too far on the offside. It's mostly pulling to the leg and cow corner area. If you can drop the mid on back, maybe square and just pull the guys up in the circle. Seems to be where he's going every ball.
We mentioned he has opened the batting for the districts. Really good stop though at long on. They're going to get a second run from overthrows. Derek hit. I want to find out who that was. I think it was Hamad Aslam.
It was Zia at the...
Regardless, it was an excellent piece of fielding. Saved a certain boundary. That's going to be key, especially with the start that they have gotten. Throwing from long on, sorry. It's just stumps direct. Well home, and of course, able to steal another run. Well, the 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by SoCal. So excited personally, Zubin, just to see another year of this tournament. What a success it was last year. This year, can only expect things to be bigger and better.
Yeah, well, from what we've seen today, looks like it will be a couple good games in and around the nation. This one looking like it's going to be one as well. Some good scores, some good talent on display. A great shot.
And it'll be 4 more. So Dale Phillips has watched now for a couple of deliveries at the other end. He's decided that he wants to get in on the ats. Katani Clark. That's again not Dale Phillips. So you have on your score ticker that Dale Phillips on strike, but it's actually Katani Clark, not Phillips. We're working to rectify that issue for you. Yeah, bat now. 50 for 1, as you can see. So 1 delivery remaining in this over. Already going for 10 runs. Ends with a single. But Katani Clark has taken over the show, taken over the bulk of the scoring. 51 for 1 after 5. Vakela, first over, really economical. Back into the attack. And again, a dot delivery. Has been reliant on that good length on-off stump, and it's worked for him so far. Haven't been able to get any arms under the ball, Kateni Clark, to find the boundary.
Yeah, I think just his length has been good. His pace as well. He's just kind of stayed, just muscled that one over. Clark keeps rolling. Still not a bad delivery.
Yeah, you won't mind that too much. Just been brilliant batting from two experienced players. First Harpreet Singh, but now Kateni Clark has taken over since the wicket. And probably premeditating the length and tugging it from the off stump. Able to find, well, beat the mid-on fielder. This time though, back from Vakela, just be a single. This has been good batting though. Good thinking on his feet, Kateni Clark. He's just adjusted well to the field. On that occasion you saw long offset bat, mid-on up in the circle. Clark came across his stumps and just tugged it straight enough to get it past the infielder. This is really good stuff from the man that they've brought in as one of their marquee players. Dale Phillips from the other end, just 2 deliveries, hasn't been able to get off the mark as yet. But they'll need him to continue the momentum. Can't afford to slip up at any stage. Have to score at close to 9 runs and over if they want to get that 183. Another full delivery, another dot ball to Dale Phillips.
Vattel doing a great job here in the power play. Just keeping it calm as much as he can.
Won't mind that single too much at all, the Grizzlies. So that will end another good over from Vakela. Just 6 runs from it. 57 for 1 after 6 overs. The power play done and dusted. It's wrong again. They're catching up. Yeah, it's right now. It's right now. It's right now. So the 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. And of course, the comparisons of the two teams. You can see after 6 overs, the Golden State Grizzlies were only 43. The key being, though, Zubin, that they were able to keep wickets in hand. The Lashings have done well and done probably even better to be 57.
Yeah, and they're looking, you see the first few overs have gone for it. Just a little blip in the last couple overs, but have been solid in response. Another spin option here. So I like this. I like this matchup. 2 guys that probably like the ball coming on. Now we're going to be faced with a bit of spin.
Leg spin into the attack for the Grizzlies. It's Abhinder Singh. And now with the restrictions completed, they can have the 5 fielders outside the circle. You can see the Singh opting to utilize the long on, long off. This one is straight, and Kateni Clark evades Zia Shazad at long off. He's such a good fielder, but when you're hitting it in the way that Clark is striking it, it doesn't matter who's fielding or where they are.
Yeah, I saw this the other day in his practice session. Just doing it with a bit of ease. Strong lad just eases it over.
Well, that is very short, but very wide as well. So I have to rebowl that one. You can see the plan, though, from Singh. Having a deep cover, long on, long off. Trying to bowl full outside the off stump and to haul out in the deep. Improved delivery this time, not given a wide.
Looked a bit tight there as well.
But what about this knock from Kateni Clark? 42 from just 23. Remember, this is his first game in the minor league. Didn't compete last year, from New Zealand. Both him and Dale Phillips at the other end. Hasn't struggled to adjust by any stretch Gonna sneak a quick single here.
Just seems like such a compact player. Just gets nice and low. Anything full, he's going at it with the full blade. Got a nice arc to his swing. Definitely strong.
Well, Dale Phillips, he struggled for 7 deliveries. Not on that occasion. He's got every piece of that off the middle of the bat and is gone out of the ground.
Yeah, they're definitely not holding back. If they think it's in their arc, they're going for it. The wicket's not a bad wicket.
It's fearless cricket from the SoCal Lashings. Another slow delivery because he's not the quickest through the air. Abhinder Singh. It gave Phillips time to assess his options. He took on long on. Boy, did he do it well. 72 for 1. Well, if you're now joining us, you don't want to miss this. The close of this innings will be extremely exciting in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Championships. Still 111 runs needed, but all of a sudden that required rate has come down to 8.5. And after the last over, this is an interesting call from Sami Aslam. The last over from Abhinder Singh, we saw go for 14 runs. He's brought on another leggy from the other end. Bold call, Zia Shahzad comes into the attack.
Yeah, I think this is the matchup here. Zia can get something happen, or at least slow down the pace of the way in which they're going. Might see a wicket or two. But right now, the Lashings just having their way. As you said, 8 and over. Not a huge task at this stage.
A lot relies on, you think, on the shoulders of Kateni Clark. Got to stay there, play a role similar to what we saw Sami Aslam do, where he was able to get out the power play, build a foundation for his team, but he can't have it easy given the style of play, that aggressive intent.
And it's probably not needed, really. Just 100 runs, 110 runs to go, pretty much, 111 runs.
Yeah, you expect him to play the situation well, Kateni Clark. Being one of your more experienced players you bring in terms of this SoCal Lashings team. Bring him in for this reason, to guide you in these situations.
Definitely grips the bat. Just grips it hard. Slow hands.
Yeah, misfield from Sami Aslam at cover means that they do get through for the single. But so far, economical start. Just 2 runs from the first 2 deliveries. Zia Shahzad. Tugging it into the onside. Going to come back for 2. This is good running, good awareness from these two. The 2 from New Zealand. Can see the field to the leg spinner. He does have that deep cover in place. Deep mid-wicket. 2 down the ground. He's got 2 in the offside on the boundary. Well, 3 if you factor in the long off as well. Gonna have to... Wow, I thought he was going to be a wide, but gets away with it. Seemed like a much quicker delivery from Zia Shahzad. Maybe the seam up. Do see spinners in the modern day game pull that quicker delivery. Oh, straight up. And Zia Shahzad is in with a chance of getting a wicket. Man in the deep, runs around and puts it down. And it rolls into the boundary as well. Hamad Azam, it was at the long off position. Usually a very safe fielder, but never easy with the swirling winds. A really good result to end the over for the SoCal Lashings. Ends it with a boundary. Hamad Azam had his eyes on it, was running around to his left. Got a hand, got 2 hands to it. Or no, he didn't. Didn't touch it at all. Real misjudgment. And we've seen already 3 catches go down for the Grizzlies.
Yeah. You need to take those. This goes without saying. That could have been a huge wicket there. They just needed something to stop the flow of runs, which is coming fairly easily. That would have put Clark back in, but now he's still moving on. He's 49. He's closing in on his 50. Off a mere 31 balls.
So 8 overs gone. They're 80 for the loss of 1. And when you look at the comparison as to where the Grizzlies were, yes, we have to account for that big finish they had in the last 5 overs. But they're much ahead at this stage. The Grizzlies 61 for none. Ahmad Azam, it will be coming into the attack. So Sami Aslam trying to shuffle his options. He needs a wicket. Dale Phillips just supported Kateni Clark well at the other end.
It's an opportunity to redeem himself after that. Just misjudged the catch on the boundary. Good point. Good being an all-rounder. Bit of an opportunity to get back in the game. Batted well earlier. Let's see if he can get something to happen here.
Well, at the moment, this SoCal Lashings team, you would have thought at 180, a team that finished 6th in the Western Conference last year, they really struggled as well. Much like the Hollywood Master Blasters, those two finished bottom of the table. They picked up only 4 wins in the group stages. But what a comeback this, to tell you, not many would have had them in this position. With 1 foot through the door, technically could go on to win this game from here if these two can remain. But we know in cricket, especially in T20 cricket, Zubin, only takes 1 wicket for the Grizzlies to come storming back.
Exactly right. 1 wicket and just a bit of a momentum shift and pressure building. Maybe get 2. You never know. 180 runs is still a lot of runs. They're still well away. Clark can go at any time. Phillips. And there's another partnership that has to be built in order to win this. So absolutely not done by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, they'll stay for 1, but it will be a half century for Kateni Clark. What a start it's been in his first game in this minor league. He becomes the 7th man in terms of this minor league 2022 cricket championship to ping up a half century on day 1. We've seen batters really strike it to all parts. What's interesting to notice there, Zubin, he didn't even celebrate the 50. I think he knows, he's aware that the job is far from finished and he's going to need a lot more than just 50 runs if they want to get over the line, especially with him being so important.
He knows the job's not done. The frailty of the bottom order. Wants to get his team home. He wants to make a good impression with his new team. He's done that so far. Looks like he's got the goods. Just needs to take on, get the team over the line.
I can tell you, Zubin, our friends at DAFA News, they're going to be very busy after this game. Got some serious members to put on the cover. Goes straight up. Has he got enough on this one? Fielder comes under it, should take it, and is put down again. 4th drop catch by the Golden State Grizzlies. They're shooting themselves in the foot. And it's Kateni Clark, the crucial wicket of Clark, gone a begging.
That's just poor. Just a bit of loss for words here. That ball must have been up for a while. Got to get around, got to take these.
And Zia Shazad, who took the first catch, remember, and first wicket, he's probably one of the safest pair of hands. You can see him rubbing the chest. May have struck him pretty powerfully. I just wonder, how's the winds picked up? That's caused problems for the Grizzlies to catch. It's now 4 gone down.
Well, I'll give you my theory. I actually think it's quite challenging to catch when there's no clouds in the sky, which there is at the moment. There's actually no depth. It's not terribly difficult, but it is challenging a little bit more than you would think. There's just a blue sky background, and nothing to kind of just gauge the depth.
End of 9, 86 for 1. Well, there you have it. Some of the comparisons in terms of over by over. And the SoCal Lashings at this point well ahead of where the Grizzlies were at one stage. Yes, you see those tall towers in between overs 12 to 15. And even towards the finish for number 18, went for a lot of runs as well. But Kateni Clark, the longer he stays there, the more worry you think would set in for the Golden State Grizzlies. 97 more needed. That's just 9 runs and over. Manageable at this stage.
Let's see it coming in here.
Well, down the ground. And would you believe it? We're not surprised. It's a misfield and it's another boundary. The Grizzlies, who have done so well with the bat in hand, started well with the ball. In the field, they've been very sloppy and it's cost them. Kateni Clark, clearly not a player that you want to get going. 57 now for him.
He struck that pretty firmly, that's for sure.
On the ground again, it will just be a single. Or no, it won't. It's going to be a maximum. So it's a boundary. So Zia Shazad, very expensive first couple of deliveries for him. This has been the Kateni Clark show. How do you stop him?
Well, you got to catch him, that's for sure. He's given a couple opportunities. Hard, and that makes it challenging for sure. And maybe there's a bit up and down in a very coarse outfield in some parts, but you got to be tougher than that if you want to win games here.
I think that's probably much where you need to operate from the Grizzlies. Anything full, he's shown that he can easily take on the long on and long off fielders because he hits the ball so straight. So now Shazad's gone short. Has he got enough on this one? You bet he has. Kateni Clark, take a bow. This has been amazing striking of the cricket ball right from the very onset. And he's single-handedly carrying the SoCal Lashes team. They're a long way away, but if he continues, real pressure on the Grizzlies.
Yeah, and this bowling is not what you want at this stage. That was fractionally short, or actually quite short. Just easy for someone in this form at this moment. Very still, so anything like that he can hit. Better ball.
3 boundaries in the over, and I think it was because he went so full to Clark the first 2 deliveries, he was punished. Then the big correction from Shazad trying to go so short. But when you have that much time, remember this pitch on the slower side as well, so much time for Kateni Clark to position the ball wherever he wanted in the onside and pick the gap well.
It's often said with leg spinners, you're only really as good as your loose balls.
Well, go. Big over for the SoCal Lashings. Well on their way to chase this 183 needed for victory. At the end of 10, the halfway stage, they're 99 for 1.
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
As I was saying previously, leg spinners, as dangerous they are in the T20 world, they need to be consistent. And if your 1 or 2 loose balls are going for boundaries, there's less pressure on the remaining balls. And that's exactly what Clark has done there. You can bowl 1 or 2 good balls in the over, doesn't matter. You got to be able to get 5 and 6 something.
Well, Hamad Aslam did ask questions in his first over. Back into the attack now. Did see a chance dropped off his bowling. The crucial Kateni Clark it was. We mentioned Clark in that Super Smash final. Remember distinctly watching that and seeing him just take over. 71 from 34 as the Northern Districts chased a total and won the tournament. Seems like he comes up in very important times, Clark. Boy, is he doing it now. On the grandest of stages. What would it mean for the Lashings team, a team that finished 6th in the Western Conference, to defeat, very first day of minor league, to defeat the Grizzlies, 2 games away from winning it all?
Huge effort, and it showed in the last few overs of their bowling innings, with the captain coming on and bowling a good little spell. Now this seems like they've got a player here, Keaton Clark.
I can tell you, really excited about some of the players we have on offer in terms of the talent. I mean, we saw in this game alone, Isan Adil, who's played international cricket, Katani Clark and Phillips, who have played at such a high level in New Zealand. But you look around the tournament, I mean, earlier today, watch Raheem Cornwall, outfitted for the Atlanta Fire. He bashed his way to 36 from 13 deliveries. A game that they won. Phillips now, his turn, but it's pounced. Finally, they hold on to one. And Dale Phillips watched from the other end for a long time. That could be the wicket that the Grizzlies need to get back into things.
Yeah, just let that one go there. I think he'd be a little upset with the way he's gone out there. Didn't need it at this stage, I'd say. Just to kind of, no point going through, but it's tough to say when you're playing this T20. A lot of it is in instinct into play, but caught at the boundary there.
He was driving on the up, Dale Phillips. It wasn't a very full delivery, so I had to back those levers to try and hit it over long off. Didn't get the elevation. And even though he supported Katani Clark well, just 11 for him. 100 for 2. The Lashings, though, it should be pretty simple from here. You've got to let Katani Clark majority of deliveries. Even with all the hard work he's done, they still need 9 runs and over. And a lot will fall on the shoulders of Clark. Just waiting on confirmation for the new batter in for the Lashings. But whoever it is, will need to support Clark well. Looks like Shamsher Singh, who did do a decent job with the ball in hand.
Umpire, next up. Thank you.
That he's got his taped up helmet.
Ball to go, umpire.
Just make sure everyone knows. It's on a new team now. Important little period. It's one of the things you like about T20. You can be in a good position and then all of a sudden just be, be on the back foot. Another wicket here definitely swings the momentum. It's always, we're talking about momentum the entire day. You would think at 100 for 2 you'd be able to get over the line, but a lot can happen. Good first ball. Nice and straight, attacking those pads.
But the important thing there was that even though it was right on the money from Hamad Aslam, Shamsher Singh did the right thing and got off strike straight away. You don't want, so often we see when a wicket falls in T20 cricket, a break in momentum. You can see Clark strike and it could affect his innings. Dale Phillips again looking to go over the top for 6, trying to continue to be aggressive. It's what's needed when you're chasing 183. But so often we see a break in momentum when a wicket falls in T20 cricket. Clark is going to have to, even if he consolidates now, he can afford to. That required run rate at 9 and over is manageable. But you're going to have to ensure that the scoring continues. End of another good over from Hamad Aslam. Just 1 wicket and 2 runs from it. 101 for 2.
1, 2, 3. Push away just a little bit. That's a leg.
Well, this game boiling down is the primetime game here in the 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by SoCal. Couldn't ask for a better run chase. 82 runs needed from 54 deliveries. It's been an onslaught, and that's been because of Kenny Clark. 67 so far, far from finished. Vatsa Vakela. So Singh is able to get off the mark again. Well, get off strike, I should say. Interesting, though, this matchup here, because I think Clark has struggled to score off of Vaikela.
Yeah.
He's just conceded the 7 runs in his 2 overs. He's an international bowler, even though he's just 20 years old. 1 T20 international against Ireland end of last year.
Yeah,
again,
I like this matchup. I think this is if they have any chance, it's to try to pick up Clark at this stage. Bowling well. I like the areas that he's bowled. He's just kind of just been sliding in. Nothing major turn, just back of a length. Ball staying low. Really tough to get under and not full to hit. He's bowled really well. I think he's...
And he's also been very happy against Kateni Clark, who's at the non-striker's end, to bowl into the pitch. Even if it's short, he's pat the offside. Very hard to hit a 6 or even a boundary square. He knows Kateni Clark's strength is down the track, so good, smart bowling from Vaikela. You mentioned the competition for places. Vaikela selected over the likes of Karima Gore, Noshis Kenjige in this squad coming for the Zimbabwe qualifiers. So highly competitive position in terms of the USA team. But that 29-wicket season really has put him in the reckoning for being that out-and-out reliable option alongside Nisar Patel in the T20 team.
And there we see it. Oh, unlucky. Unlucky for Vatsal not to pick him up. It's a great delivery.
Pressure getting to Kateni Clark. The last couple of deliveries, they haven't scored a boundary since the wicket of Phillips. And he's seen enough. Kateni Clark knows that that rate is slowly creeping up.
He does. He should also know that he just needs to do stuff like that. Nothing wrong with giving the bowler his due. Right, he's bowling well. He's not hitting him. He's not forced to hit him. It's not like they need to go at 12 or 13s yet. 8 and 9 runs and over is manageable.
Well, another really good over from Vaikela. Just 4 runs from it. 105 for 2. So, if you're now joining us, game well poised at the moment. The Grizzlies won the Western Conference last year under some pressure against the SoCal Lashings in this game number 2 of this Western Conference.
Aslam is quietly just bowled pretty well too. Good pace off it. Every so often it looked like a slower ball there too. Ran his fingers over it. Can he hit it? Oh. Direct hit would have been something.
Yeah, those are the risks you have to take, though, at this stage of the innings, especially when boundaries aren't flowing. It's been a good comeback from Sami Aslam and his men in the last couple of overs. Pretty tight. Ahmad Azam's been consistent. Kateni Clark hasn't really scored against him. I think that shoulder really giving him some difficulties from the very first delivery Ahmad Azam bowled. You can see him holding it. Has struggled with it. Kateni Clark over cover. And it just kept in at the boundary by the fielder.
Great effort there. Excellent effort. Every run counts here. Looks like Aslam's in a bit of discomfort.
And it's only 6 runs off the last 2. Ahmad Azam has actually had enough. He can't continue. So he's going to have to come out the attack. And if he can't bowl another delivery in this, it means he will not be able to bowl for the rest of the game. Big loss. The Grizzlies, a man who taken a wicket and only conceded 10 when a team is scoring in the vein at close to 10 runs and over, like the Lashings have done throughout this innings. So seems to be walking off Ahmad Azam. From the very first ball, I noticed he did hold that shoulder as soon as he bowled. He got through, 15 deliveries, but now has had enough. Probably wouldn't want to rupture anything in that shoulder. Long-term season. This is just the first game, first day of minor league.
Yeah, I think he might have done that earlier when he fell. A bit of discomfort.
Yeah, you can see again holding over as soon as he delivered it.
Joshi to replace him. Joshi needs to just, it's a good bowler, just maybe struggles with a little bit of consistency and just bowling good areas. When he does, he can be handy. He hits the deck. It was a bit easy pace. That's a straight 6.
Well, Joshi's traveled the distance. It's been very expensive today. They've taken a liking, especially Kateni Clark, to pace on the ball. Just had to bowl one delivery. No, he's got about 3 deliveries, but I saw him giving his cap. Coming down the track again, Kateni Clark, and he's so prolific down the ground. All of his boundaries have come straight. Adds another maximum to the tally. They needed that. Goes short. There's protection though in the deep.
Check.
Oh, that could be an that brings Clark back on. At the end of the over, it's 116 for 2.
So Joshi just had to bowl 3 deliveries to take over from Hamad Aslam, but they've gone the distance and been very expensive. 7 remain. They still need 67 to win, but they're in with a big chance to win this game, the Lashings. Well, you can see that worm very neck and neck. In fact, the Lashings at one stage were well ahead of the Grizzlies, and since that dipped in terms of that aggressive run scoring. Kateni Clark, though, he's the man, and I think, I'll predict this now, Zubin, if he stays there to the 20th over, they will win this game.
I don't know if he's here at the 20th over. Something would be wrong. If he can make it to the 20th over and he's still there, I think if he's still there in the next 5 overs, what do we got right now?
67 more to win. Bakela only has 1 after this.
5 overs. This game is done in the 18th.
Oh, actually, this is Vatsa Bakela's final over.
Oh.
And you have to credit the young man. 20 years old, such a good season last year. All the pressure and expectation now on him. Made his international debut, but he's come back, kept it very simple. And even to Kateni Clark, who struck at over 150, he's just been very solid in his planning. And again, unable to score those boundaries. Vaikela, even though he hasn't picked up a wicket today, has been very economical in a crucial spell. Less than 3.5 runs per over conceded.
Yeah, he's bowling fantastically well. Just goes to show. Oh, it's excellent bowling. Excellent bowling.
Well, Shamsher Singh coming down the track. I was just mentioning Vaikela was going wicketless. Pushes this one a lot quicker through, and the keeper, well, does the rest. Momentum not going the way of the Lashings. Way down the track. Trying to get closer to the pitch of the ball, but in a terrible position. He's gone for 3. Really struggled. 8 deliveries for him.
Yeah, and you'd have to say that's probably poor planning on his part. You know, finish obviously the last over for Vatzel. Get through him. You have somebody smashing at the other. If you get 3-dot balls, you're probably better off. There's a bit of pressure again. He's just telling him ball staying low. I'm like, no, it's not, buddy. It's just terrible cricket.
How do you know what they're saying, Zubin?
Going by the gesture, hand gesture.
Well, you know, you are the former player out of the 2, so I trust you.
I see he thinks it is staying low, and I say he ran past one.
we know have seen batters in the game today, especially. You know, they always make themselves feel a bit better about the dismissal. Can't fault it. I would do the same.
Cricket's full of excuses. I know, I've heard them all. I've been coaching for a long time in my life as well, and I've been a player, obviously. So I've heard all the excuses, even my own. I have a few. But that's just poor. Probably the best bowler on their team is just a couple balls away from having a spell and not taking part in the game, and you have somebody smashing it at the other end. All you really need to do is just get through his overs. Kicking himself. Balls to play. Very good. Very good, Wetzel. Excellent bowling.
Yeah, truly is a fantastic display of bowling in a game where you have the likes of Kateni Clark still at the crease. To be able to just concede 4 runs and over, massively impressive. Here was the wicket again. Stumping, just in no position, Shamsher Singh. So Zaid, the new batter, in off the mark. Just needs some support.
It could have easily been 117 for 2. Oh, what is it? Have they updated the...
Yeah, 117 for 3 after 14 overs.
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
Zaid Tariq has come to the crease to join Kateni Clark. Still no Elmore Hutchinson, the power-hitting all-rounder, still to come for the Lashings. This is the problem that they've run into. They need, wait for it, Zubin, a Toyota Tundra player to come in and take the game on. Kateni Clark has just been a bystander at the other end. They just completely lost the momentum that they did to work so hard to get.
That's well played. Nicely done. Well worked in there. Seasoned pro, I'd say, even at the youth. Well, at the young age of 20. I don't know what's going on with these young generations. They're just with it, sharp.
Come on, Zubin.
Wetzel at the other end there, with the senior left armer, I would say, at a young age. Unbelievable.
I was about to say, if Václav Vachéla can play for the USA international team at 20, why can't I commentate at 20 as well?
You absolutely can.
Nataraj into the attack for the Grizzlies. Interesting that he's gone to this newer option, Sami Aslam, at such a crucial stage. You think if they give away a big over now, it just swings the pendulum back into the favor. But a couple of tight overs, that's what wickets does. All of a sudden, asking rate for the first time today has gone past 11 runs and over. Well, he's creamed that. Kateni Clark, fielder watches, and he can only watch it sail over his head as Kateni Clark now moves into the 80s. This has been a masterclass of batting.
Excellent stuff. Just got a little too full. If you've watched Kateni Clark, he just has a nice stride and is obviously strong. Here's a replay.
We just felt something had to give at some stage. Kateni Clark gets the maximum. Have to hurry. Had he collected that, Nataraj could have been very interesting. Mohit Nataraj didn't really see him bowl many deliveries in the 2021 season. But I think with the now absence of Hamad Azam, he's had to make up over Sami Aslam. Look at that. He was far out of the picture. Would have been gone, I think.
It's not a great set of fielding. You need to be sharp in all aspects of the game. T20, half chances. Now that ball stayed a little low, I'll give you that.
Yeah, end of the over. 9 runs come from it. 57 still needed for victory for the Lashings. Well, several options used with the ball in hand for the Grizzlies. Sami Aslam shuffled his options well. Look at what's to come, though. Just seen 2 overs from Zia Shazad. Adil has got 2. You expect him to come in probably in the last 4 overs, both the 17th or 18th and 20th, I should say. But where does he make up the rest of these overs from? He still has 5 to make up. Could he possibly go to Shazad? He is going to go to Shazad as we speak. But it's a big risk bowling the leg spinner to Katani Clark. And if you're Tariq, you just want to get a single. Let Katani Clark, who has done nothing wrong for the day, let him attack Zia Shazad. And of course he does the opposite, just gets a dot delivery.
Yeah, it's going to be challenging. It's a lot of pressure on Keaton to win the game from here. Certainly has his capabilities. He played.
Yeah, does the right thing, Tariq. Want to give himself some time, but you can't afford to lose another wicket at this stage of the game. This is the matchup, though, and I think it's why Sami Aslam is taking this risk. He has runs to play with. Still need to score over 11 runs and over. He knows that Katani Clark will attack Zia Shazad, especially down the ground. Come on, Zia Shazad, flight 1. Just flight 1. Entice him to go over long on again. I think he could find the fielder. We've seen him produce some chances. Instead, he goes short, and it's a dot delivery. Every ball so crucial now in the last 5.
That's the lengths there. If he can bowl those balls, he's going to have to do something. Found that even Wutzel was kind of in and around that area. Not quite short, not quite full. It's just hitting into the ground.
And they sort of learned from what Václav Akela has done. As you said, he was so good at just being able to find that good to short length outside off stump. And Clark was happy to just knock it around for singles. Singles won't win them this game. You don't mind that if you are the Grizzlies. Good looking shot. I think it will be more than a couple of runs. And regardless of which direction this game goes, Zubin, really exciting action tomorrow at 10 a.m. right here from the Woodley Park ground. We'll have it on premium coverage for you. The Lashings taking on the Silicon Valley Strikers. I can tell you the Lashings, this team, they're backing down from any fight. And against the defending champions who already have picked up 1. That's going to be a blockbuster of a matchup. 10 a.m. tomorrow right here on Willow TV and MLC Network. End of the over at the end of 16. 1-3-1 for 3. So Clark, the lone light in the batting display for the SoCal Lashings. 88 from 50, needs some help at the other end. Elmore Hutchinson, who we've seen finish countless games for the United States at the international level, he's still there in the hutch, so expect him to come in probably next. Wouldn't surprise me.
I would have liked to see him come before.
I agree with you, Zubin. I agree with you. I think you've got to go for the game.
Yeah, yeah. And if he gets going, he's gonna get the game close and probably take a little bit of pressure off Clark if he does get going. But now it's one guy going, and it's probably their better bowlers coming up. Ihsan and
very interesting. Sami Aslam, remaining of Ihsan Adil, his strike bowler. He's gone back to him now. They want that wicket of Katani Clark. It's aggressive captaincy from Sami Aslam. They're not waiting. They're not sitting back. I have to get out of my seat. This game is coming down very close. I feel it. And a lot lies on the shoulders of that man at the non-striker's end. Katani Clark all the way from Northern District, New Zealand. Got to go to that place though, Zubin. Have to take a flight. So beautiful, picturesque.
I hope you like flying. It's not close.
But that's a good result for both teams. I can tell you why. The Grizzlies, as crazy as it sounds, would have brought Adil on to take the wicket of Katani Clark. And for the Lashings, well, you have to give every delivery possible to Katani Clark. He won't be thinking about New Zealand at the moment. He'll be thinking about Woodley Park and clearing it. He's done it already on 4 occasions today. 4 maximums, all down the ground. Such a prolific player. I wonder if Ihsan Adil will take that option away. He does have protection, both fielders on the boundary. Long on and long off.
See if he takes pace off here, or if he kind of goes full and back of a length.
He does go pace off.
Pace off.
Cutter out the side of the hand, almost like a leg cutter from Ihsan Adil. And to execute that at this stage of the innings, you have to give him immense credit. You expect that from your experienced players. We saw one early on, didn't quite get it right in the first over. You can see there, beats him for pace, Kateni Clark.
Well bowled. Probably could have hit that a little bit better, but then he's got his protection out on the boundaries. The longer boundaries, like we were saying earlier, the square boundaries are a little bit longer. So even if he does hit it hard, he probably has protection, or hopefully fielders down there can come around and stop it.
What a Yorker, and what death bowling this is from Ihsan Adil. Excellent execution, first of the slower ball, then following it up with a great Yorker, and all of a sudden, 2 dots back on Clark.
Excellent bowling. My favorite ball, not as a batter, but as if I was a bowler, I'd be bowling lots of that. I think it's just such a good ball to bowl in T20s. You can almost set a field sometimes if you get it wrong, and if you execute, you're not getting hit. Just such a good ball.
In quality bowling from both Zia Shazad and Ihsan Adil. 6 runs in the last 8 deliveries. What's happened before that? A wicket. Always brings pressure, always stems the flow. Oh, that's a rare loosener from Ihsan Adil. Trying to go short, mixing it up well to Kateni Clark, but again, just probably getting a bit too carried away. Have to re-bowl that one, Adil.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of the double bluff there. Mid-on was back, dropped back for that ball. I just wanted to see if he was going to bang it in.
Something's going to give here. You sense it. Kateni Clark, 88. That won't matter too much to him. It's about the team getting over the line. They're still 50 runs away from 21 deliveries. They need him to be even more brilliant if that's possible. Full toss. Whips it away into the onside, but there is a fielder in the deep. Wants to, have to hurry. Gets. But even so, at this stage with 15 runs required per over, 2s won't hurt the Grizzlies. And you just think of those chances early on, Zubin, where the Lashings could have been a lot tighter in the field. Could have been the difference between 170 and 182. And you look at this run chase now, that would have been much more manageable. Good running from Clark. As soon as he touched, he knew he wanted to.
It's always hindsight, right? If you play that way and take that approach that every run counts, every run between the wicket, ball, every taken catch, that all adds up. All adds up.
This time goes pace on and well bowled again. Just a single. This game slowly slipping away from the SoCal Lashings team from California. And I can tell you what, Zubin, it's a real good thing we've got our friends at Dafa News on board, because the amount of players' individual performances we've seen today. Unmuk Chan, 94. Saurabh Nachavalkar with 5 wickets in the first game. Then Sami Aslam for this Grizzlies team. He got 79, the captain. And now Kateni Clark and his Lashings team still in with a chance. They're not going down without a fight. Dafa News, looking forward to reading them later today, seeing all the action, a recap of all the action happening in day 1 of the minor league.
There's been some good bowling performances today too by Vatsal, as we said earlier.
Final delivery of the over, Zubin. He has to close it out well. Has only conceded 5 runs from the over, but a 6 here would help. And Zayed Tariq has been there for 9 deliveries, hasn't found the boundary as yet. They need something from him. But it'll only be a single down the ground. And he also retained the strike. So end of the 17th over, 3 remain. 1-3-7 for 3. And have a look at that. You can see they were well ahead, the Lashings, but since the fall of that second wicket, things have begun to decline in terms of the run, and in terms of the posting. But one man holds the key to the SoCal Lashings, and if they're going to go over and the line in this one, in the very first game of their season, it's going to have to be because of Chateny Clark.
Yeah, I think there's got to be a big over somewhere. There has to be one big over, whether it's in 18 or 19, something to just kind of bring it back, and then they can kind of get back to the 10, 11s, and then you never know what's going to happen in the last over. Yeah, maybe I was a bit optimistic if Clark being there in the 18th over and the 20th over would be a bit of a problem.
And I know it's very easy to sit here and, you know, predict things as well as suggest certain things. Much easier said than done. But if you look at how they bowled to Chateny Clark, anything full, he's scored and struck at over 200 against. But when it's been on a good length, on-off stop, he's been happy to just rotate the strike. Fatsa Vaikela exposed that. In the last over, Ishan Adil did as well. That is the way I think you can contain a man who struck 91 now, sorry, from 62 balls in these final 2 overs. Now listen to this. What has happened here? Zaid Tariq has retired. I see Elmore Hutchinson in the middle. This is something that I observed in the Vitality Blast. The Warwickshire Bears did it with Carlos Brathwaite. He went off when the spin came on. Elmore Hutchinson is at the striker's end with his team needing 46 from 3 overs. This is a tactical retirement from the Lashings.
Yeah, actually, I've never seen that happen, or at least the game that I've watched in person. Interesting. Can't tell you if I'm for it or against it at the moment, but
no,
I can understand the tactic.
I saw it for the first time earlier this year in an IPL game. I think the Rajasthan Royals. It was Ravichandran and Ashwin who came in at number 3. And that's why he's in. I don't know if he's got all of it against Zia Shazad. Oh, he has. Welcome to the party, Elmore Hutchinson. Stand and deliver. He's here and he's ready.
Begs the question why he wasn't in earlier. Why would you retire him and then just get him in there? You should just bat him earlier.
He did not get that out the middle of the bat, Zubin Sakari, I'm telling you. But it's the power, it's the height. 6'4", Elmore Hutchinson. Goes again. Full delivery off the outside edge, but this time it's taken at point. The experiment doesn't work for the Lashings. He hit a 6 and then finds the fielder. Zia Shazad, look what it means to him and his teammates. Could that be the wicket that wins the game for them?
It's awfully challenging from here. We needed Ellie to get a couple more. That's just the nature of this sport. Live and die by it. Swing the blade, and he's got a big blade.
But I'll tell you why it was such a good adjustment for Zia Shazad, because the first delivery was flighted. Elmore Hutchinson went over the top, got it all the way for 6. Then he went full again, but the difference was the pace. He speared it in at a Yorker length, and Hutchinson, even with his quick bat speed, couldn't get it down in time. Just a solitary 6 for him. He's gone 143 now for 4.
Just wondering what Clark said to the incoming batter. He seemed pretty optimistic and looking to win this game. He certainly can do it. He's got the power, but he also needs the opportunity. He needs to get on strike.
Well, 15 runs and over needed in the last 2 is not completely out of the question.
Absolutely not.
But what an over this has been, though. We've seen it all. First, a retirement of Zaid Tariq to then get Elmore Hutchinson in. He then hits a 6, and then the next delivery is dismissed. All happening here at Woodley Park. First delivery gets off the mark straight away.
I'm saying 6-4. The next 2 balls. I'm calling the 6 off this ball, then a 4. This is my prediction.
Well, Zia Shazad has to be very careful in terms of the length that he bowls. Skanda Rohit Sharma has come to the crease. I'll tell you these names. Skanda Rohit Sharma.
Skanda loves those red pad clads. If you ever see him, there's no way you're getting it off him.
In the air, but it won't carry too long on. 2 is the call. Has to hurry. Going to the danger end. Skanda gets there in the end quite comfortably. Skandar Rohit Sharma, well, I can tell you, if he can become what Rohit Sharma is in the white ball format, they'll win this game and win it by a big margin. The SoCal Lashings.
All right, so I was out 2, so I need 8 off this ball.
And instead, they get 0. But more importantly,
It's bowled well there.
it's a dot ball. 1 delivery remains. Now, he has a decision to make, Kateni Clark. Does he go for the single to retain the strike? Or does he go for a boundary? Of course, I think everything must go at this stage. Just slaps it to cover. He plays a safe option. It's going to be 4, actually. Sorry, beats the fielder to have a fielder at cover. But he splits the gap well. And Kateni Clark moves up closer to that 100 triple-figure score. Looking for the first in this 2022 Toyota minor. 150 comes up. 2 overs remain. 33 needed. 150 for 4. All boiling down in these last 2 overs. Kateni Clark single-handedly taking the hopes and pride of Lashings' team. You have to give them credit for even being in this situation. Not many would have had a team that finished 6th in the Western Conference last year to be even in this position against one of the favorites to win it all in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Championships. But they're right there with a chance to win. 33 from the last 97. Some people are picking the batting team in that situation, Zubin. Who are you picking?
I have to back my man, Ishan, here. He's bowled a couple good overs. He knows he can maybe just get away with getting a single off, getting Clark off strike. The key is for Clark to stay on strike, obviously. Let's see where his field is. Can't quite take a look. He's got mid off, mid on back. So mid on in this, mid on back. Fine leg in the circle, square.
Yeah, it has the protection in the leg side for that Yorker delivery. He's sending back the man at fine leg now because probably he's looking to bowl the Yorker. So those inside edges, you can't afford to give away anything at this stage, as well as the fact that Skandar Rohit Sharma is going to be looking for a single, I think at least. The smart thing to do is get a single and get Clark on strike. Can't win the game in 1 ball. But instead, it's a dot delivery and not smart batting from Rohit Sharma. It's well bowled by Adil. And look at that experience from Ishan Adil. Just telling his team to calm down. We're ahead of the situation. You expect that from your experienced players, and he's just showing it. Another good delivery. Very tough drive.
He's obviously, like we spoke about earlier, he's got plenty of experience. He's played a lot of T20 stuff. He knows what it's like. The pressure comes on. He just needs to be consistent. Gonna go for runs. He got taken to the cleaners in his first over, but he's come back really strong. He's bowled well. Excellent ball again.
Big swing across the line. This is not smart from the SoCal Lashings because they've got Kateni Clark at the other end stranded. They just need to find a single. They've already wasted the first 2 deliveries.
I'm not sure what the tactic is. I don't know if Skandar has you, but I mean, you can obviously get in a bit of an edge of some sort, but definitely just you need to get Clark on strike.
And you look at the field, there are areas where he can just drop the ball and run. He can find a single if he just gets back on ball.
Yeah, I don't take Skandar for a 6-hitter, so he shouldn't be trying that at this stage, especially when you have one who's a natural one at the end.
And now he opts to then put bat on ball and finally get a single, but it's already 3 deliveries used up in the over. This has to be the make or break over because you look at the options. Zia Shahzad has already bowled out. Vaghela's done. It could be Rushir Joshi, who's gone at over 11.5 per over.
Yeah, it's... balls and 32 runs. It's a tough ask. But if these 9 balls and 32 runs remaining, get 10 off the next 2 balls, which obviously one is going for 6. 4 and a 6 is just going to put it away.
No ball signal. Adil's had trouble with that front foot, and it was another dot ball, but would you believe it? The outstretched right hand of the umpire, dreadful at this stage, and a free hit coming up for Kateni Clark. 3 away from 100.
Yeah, we were talking about his experience, Hassan, but he's just giving it away there with the overstepping.
Yeah, Cardinals sin at this stage. They need 20 runs and over. They can't afford that mistake. Clark on 97, facing a free hit. Another no ball signaled, and I think it was another dot delivery. So Ihsan Adil really having some problems with that front foot. Have a look at it here. The front foot, we saw it from over, clearly overstepping. He's a very tall man, Adil. Big stride in, but has to work on that problem. Pressure could be getting to him, of course. Bowling to Clark, who's anything full. He's dispatched such a small margin of error. Clark still on 97. Score moves up 1, 30 now needed.
Can happen here.
Execution from Ihsan Adil. Just going to be a single. And what an over. Even the 2 extras that we've had, the 2 no balls, he's gotten away with them. He's only conceded 3 runs in the penultimate over. So important. And you think they just needed some support. Clark didn't have it at the other end.
Just too much to do, and you know, they'll look back at it and see where they missed up. It's just a bit tough, but gotta be said that Adil's just bowled a fantastic few overs. Very experienced Yorkers. You know, he's just one good ball. You know, if you can do it consistently, set a field to it. If they hit a Yorker for 6, all the power to them. But if they don't,
Ihsan Adil, he conceded 27 from his first 2 overs. What a comeback to just concede 10 from the next 2 so far. 11 now, but it was a critical time in which he's bowled. And this, you think, truly a match-winning performance from him. This sometimes it doesn't always show up in the scorebook or in the stats, but it'll be remembered, and a great way for him to start his campaign. But the game not over yet. 29 needed from 8. You would think if they can find a boundary, a couple of boundaries to close out the over, 20 from the last, could be very interesting. We've seen it many times in the modern game. Kateni Clark is at the crease on 98.
if they can get it down to 3 6s, if they have to score 3 6s in the last over, which is absolutely possible.
Thank you.
But it's a run out. He was going for the single. Skanda Sharma had to try and get Clark on strike for the final over, but he just hit it so hard that Ihsan Adil was able to just pick it up and easily clip the stump. So last couple of deliveries have been a real struggle for Kateni Clark. Skanda Sharma was taken off.
Batsman in, boys. Batsman in. Batsman in.
So he doesn't contribute much. Sharma just goes for 3. And now with the final over, they'll need 28 from the last 6 balls.
Like you said, he's got taken quite a lot in his first over. Now he's really come back really well.
Yeah, the Grizzlies deserve immense credit here because at one stage of this innings, they were seriously under the pump and could have easily succumbed through the pressure of Kateni Clark. 131 it was after 16 overs, but they've kept it so tight and only conceded 24 of the last 4 overs. That's 6 runs and over. Could Couldn't have asked for much better from your death bowlers if you're Sami Aslam.
Yeah, fantastic bowling from the Grizzlies. Oh, he's hit that one.
Is there one more twist to the tail? It's a maximum. The first delivery of the last over has gone all the way for 6. And the new batter, where was he? I think it's Sandu. Where was he all this time? So it's gone for 6. It now means 28 is needed from the final 22 needed from the final delivery.
Dead ball.
Just working to rectify the score for you. But the final over, 22 now is needed after that maximum. Goes straight up, should be taken, easy catch in the end, but the important thing is that they've crossed. So Mohit Nataraj able to add 1 wicket to his tally. But it will mean that Katani Clark gets to strike. They did cross the batters, so he will be at the striker's end. So just 4 deliveries remaining. Zubin, 22 still needed. It seems like a long way away, very difficult from this stage, but you never know with that man Clark. It's 2 away from 100.
Yeah, 4 6s in a row here. Hate to say it's impossible. It isn't impossible. But anything is possible.
So 2 away from 100. Katani Clark has been in the 90s for a while, and because they've lost so many wickets at the other end, it's been very hard for him to continue that run scoring. You look after the first 6 overs, they were 57. Then after the first 10, they were 99 for 1. That's when Dale Phillips and Clark got into that partnership. A partnership which was worth some 69. 55 of the runs scored by Clark. And is this the moment? He's 2 away from 100. He wants to, has to come back. And it's gonna be run out on 99. Real heartbreak for Katani Clark. He was 1 away from becoming the first centurion, but what I respect about that decision, he put his team first. He knew he had to get back on strike. And in the end, he'll get congratulations from the Grizzlies, but it just wasn't good enough in the end. Didn't get enough help. But a superb knock. Surely the best we've seen in this tournament thus far.
Yeah, sadly, he's just fell short of a milestone. He's batted so well. Obviously, he wanted to win. He needed to get back there for anything to happen.
And Zubin, obviously we don't have the luxury of having a digital scoreboard. I just feel for the heartbreak he will feel when he knows he was on 99, but clearly out by a mile. He knew he had to go to the dangerous end, and unfortunately for him, real heartbreak. Dismissed on 99 from 70 deliveries, but it's been a real treat to watch. We've been privileged to experience and call that innings. And the Lashings, well, they got close, but just not close enough. Real heartbreak for him. 21 now needed from the final 3 deliveries. Akashvir Singh, it looks like, will come up to the middle. Have to credit those Clark. The way, if you're able to start your season off with that performance, really the Lashings will feel optimistic about their chances of doing much better than 6th place like they did last year.
Yeah, you know, T20, the good thing about T20 is you can come down to 1 or 2 stars that can really win you a game. And you can take on any of the teams. So it puts a good mix in the West. An already competitive West. So this
So really good from the Lashings, but not good enough. Another dot delivery. This is good from Nataraj as well. Held his nerve in the final over. After the first delivery went for 6, could have easily faulted under the pressure, but stayed strong, backed himself, executed his plans well. And Sami Aslam and his men, even though, yes, probably closer than they would have expected, the main thing is a win under the belt, and that single won't mean too much. So final delivery coming up here. Come out for 2. But it'll mean 19 off the last ball, which would mean that the Grizzlies will pick up the first win for them in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship.
I did say if Clark was there in the 20th over, they'd be in trouble.
But we were wrong, Zubin.
No, yeah, we were wrong. You know, they'd be in trouble. I thought they'd win it earlier.
But the problem is that he didn't get the support. I thought Elmore Hutchinson could have come out to bat a bit earlier, and it would have allowed him to play himself in. These are all things, of course, hindsight is 2020. All things that the Lashings can work on. It's a long season. They'll end the innings with just a single direct hit, was it? And given out. So actually run out on the final delivery. The 8th wicket goes down, but that's just the cherry on top for the Grizzlies, who pick up their first win in this 2022 Minor League Cricket Championship. It's been a good all-round performance, even though they've stuttered along the way. The main important thing, they've got W in that column. Very important to get off to winning ways in this tournament. You can see there the players, well, they'll feel good about this one. They've had to battle through some adversity, and that was really due to 99 from Kateni Clark, the lone standout with the bat in hand. You can see what it means to the Grizzlies. Been a really good performance by them. Vaikela was good with the ball. Isan Adil. They will go at the top of the table with the Silicon Valley Strikers, both picking up wins on day 1. What a day 1 it's been. So eventful, nail-biting towards the end. Perfect finish. And you can see there, one standout, 99 from 70 balls for Kateni Clark. Real heartbreak that he couldn't get to the triple-figure score. But scores of 3, 8, 6, 3, 4, not good enough in terms of the others. No real support for him. And in the end, they just didn't have it, the Lashings, in order to chase that mammoth 182 for victory.
Just to wrap up the Golden State Grizzlies bowling. Ishan Adil, 4 overs for 38, for 1. Ruchir Joshi, 2.3 overs, 29. Vatsavalea, who bowled fantastic, 4 overs, 1 for 12. And Mohit Natraj, 2 overs, 18 for 1. The wickets.
Yeah, it was a good display and pretty good game to open your account for both these teams. The Grizzlies starting with 182 on the board, then following it up with a clinical performance, but Kateni Clark stole the show, didn't steal it fully. 70. In the end, the Grizzlies winning by some 18 runs. We'll be back very soon with highlights and a chat with the man of the match.
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go rewards, when you fuel, you save, because rewards come first.
Welcome back here again. Inclusion of an exciting day. 2 matches here at Woodley Park. Just to wrap up, SoCal Lashings with Kateni Clark making 97 off 70. Fantastic effort, but really nothing else from there. They ended up struggling at the end, falling 18 runs short. Golden State Grizzlies won by 18 runs. And then the bowling side, Golden State Grizzlies. Isan Adil, after going for a few, 1 wicket for 38 runs off his 4 overs. Vatsal 4 overs, 12 runs, 1 wicket. And Mohit Natraj, 2 overs, 18 runs at the crucial time, taking over in just the 1 wicket there. Hamid Azam, injured, but still bowled a good 2.3 overs, 1 for 8. In closing out the SoCal Lashings innings. And a quick summary of the match. Golden State Grizzlies 20 in their 20 overs, making 182 for 5. Sami Aslam, fantastic innings, 79 off 65. Chandel, 44 off 29. Shahzad, 25 off 14. SoCal Lashings. Clark, fantastic, 99, just falling short of 70 balls. Singh, 16 off 9. And once again, Vatsal Vagela, 12 runs, 1 for off his 4 overs. And some of the highlights here of the match. This is the first over that just went for Keaton Clark, just taking it on in the first few overs, getting a boundary easily off there. Straight 6. Well done over the top. Just in his arc. At this stage, the team's looking good. Singh comfortably smashing it for 4. But then a couple wickets fell as well. Good ball, the thing, and an excellent catch that in the boundary. Bit of a game changer there. Momentum shifting. And another 4 coming off. Keaton, well done. Another 6. Excellent stuff there from Keaton again. At this stage, looking nice and solid. Vatsal just coming in and bowling really well, but one of the few boundaries that he gave up. Shahzad into the mix with the bowling. Bit unlucky not to get a wicket here. And adding a bit of insult to injury with the injury. Sloppy fielding a little bit on the Grizzlies side, but they got home in the end. Wicket, key wicket off Phillips. Nicely taken down to long on. Another 6 by Clark. It's just prolific today, just gonna get any support from anybody. Excellent bowling. Yorkers being bowled, just massively key. One of the highlights of a nice 4 from off Keaton Clark. And Ishan coming back with the 4. Easy run out. Yorkers proving the damage. Just to spit out, a bit slow off the run. Just didn't make it. But in the end, falling short. There's a quick direct hit run out to end it.
Well, at the end of game 2 on day 1 here, the Golden State Grizzlies, of course, winning by some 18
And out to
runs.
Nikhil with the interview.
Well, at the close of day 2 on day 1 here, the Golden State Grizzlies picking up their first win of the tournament here with the captain, who happens to be the man of the match as well, Sami Aslam. Sami, it was close towards the end, but you guys got the job done. How happy does that make you as skipper?
Yeah, in the first game, I think win is really important for the team because it gives you momentum going into the tournament. And the first game was tough, so I think it will give my as well with the win.
Let's spend some time on your personal performance. 79 from 54 at the top of the order. It looked like the intent was to bat through the innings, then accelerate towards the end. How crucial was your knock for your team?
As a senior player, I think in my team, like the last tournament as well, the pitch is a little bit tricky. So my job is to bat throughout the innings, and then the other players rotate around me.
99 from Keaton Clark for the Lashings, but a couple bowlers really stood out. Ishan Adil towards the end of the innings. Zia Shahzad bowled a crucial over to come back into the attack under pressure, and Vatsal Vagela. How happy and pleased are you with your bowlers and the way they closed out the death?
Yeah, I think Ihsan Adil and Zia Shahzad bowled really well, and I hope from them because they are my pro players, and I expect the same from them. Along with that, Wurzel bowled really well, I think. Some crucial overs and bring us back to the game as well.
Sami, so good to see you again and see your team off to a winning start. Congratulations. All the best for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you very much.
Sami Aslam, the winning captain, of course, of the Golden State Grizzlies, who win this one by 18 runs. It was not all straightforward and clear-cut to get there, but in the end, the main thing, they'll have a W in the win-loss column to start the tournament off. What a fantastic 2 matches we've had here right at Woodley Park in Los Angeles. Don't go anywhere because tomorrow we're coming back to you with 2 games right here in LA. You don't want to miss it. 10 a.m., 2:30 p.m. We'll see you there.
You're watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco.